Hello, and welcome to the Strange Glow video.
Ghostbusters 2 commentary.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, what do
I was like, he's going to screw up the name, but he got the name out and then
I figured he was going to as well.
No, Strange Glow video
I
here.
just accepted it.
This is our
I
first.
was going to call it our inaugural commentary as Strange Glow video.
Right.
So,
But we're going to keep all the old commentaries online.
And if you want more commentaries, hit up our Patreon at patreon.com/strangeglowvideo.
Oh, yeah, this one's going to be a free sample
Yeah, this one's going to be our...
to get you hooked.
It's going to be on YouTube and everything. And even though YouTube, it's going to be one of our few YouTube videos that isn't actually a video, I guess. I might put some sort of image there.
You could put
I did that one. I've done those recently just because
you could put clips from Ghostbusters too.
Still shots. Yeah, I mean, you could, but...
It'd just be a lot of editing that I don't want to do. I'll put one still, maybe.
Yeah, that's all I've done on the Kevin Smith one or the voice actors panel.
Behind the scenes with Strange Glow Video.
Strange Glow video. So Ghostbusters 2, we love this movie. The official commentary for this movie is subpar. We were talking before we started how the commentary for Ghostbusters is hands down one of the best commentaries ever. I mean, it really set the bar for what you should do with the DVD commentary. It was one of the first Blu-rays one of the first DVDs I ever bought, and when really started getting into the behind-the-scenes and bonus feature stuff with DVD format. So,
Real quick, while we're mentioning DVD commentaries, I want to throw one shout out to the Armageddon commentary, which is great. If you want to hear Ben Affleck talk shit about the movie.
oh, I love that idea.
And then there's also, that's one of those commentaries where it's like everybody recorded separately, so it randomly cuts to separate people talking about it by themselves.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he's there
I
by
hate
himself,
those.
just like, yeah, look at this shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's pretty good. And then I recommend Hot Fuzz has several commentaries, but there's one with Edgar Wright and Quentin Tarantino, and all they do is talk about cop movies and all the cop movie references and cool shit. It's pretty good.
So we're going to talk just throughout this movie, our commentaries. We don't necessarily talk directly about the movie the whole time, so we may get off on a tangent here, but just buckle up and enjoy the ride, because this is a fun one. And if you want to hit New Year's Eve at the same time as everyone else does on New Year's Eve as the movie, just be ready to start this thing.
You know what he means by that, I think.
It's going to go live at the right time.
The
right?
movie is
Hit the
basically
midnight.
at 0. The screen is black. It's paused. We're using the DVD. I'm about to hit play, and the Columbia Pictures logo is going to come up. And 3, 2, 1.
Play.
Columbia Pictures logo.
Columbia Pictures logo. It's beautiful, isn't it? I love these old Columbia logos.
Yeah, it's
Hand
classic.
drawn.
You know she's naked under there, right?
You got toga.
Probably.
5 years later, so on our home copy VHS that we taped from
This was
pay
not there.
cable, the 5 years later wasn't there. We start like right as this slime oozes out of the street.
My stepdad recorded both of them off HBO or whatever, and he cut like right when Slimer flies at the camera, and the first one straight to 5 years later, and cuts out the Columbia and stuff.
So the
That's
whole
what I watched
reason,
as a kid.
Nice.
if you never put the dots together, you never paid attention. The whole reason Dana's cart gets possessed is because it rolled through the slime there. It would not have been possessed otherwise, but it rolled through that slime and put it on there so it could be possessed.
So
Fun
there you
little
go.
fact for you.
So Vigo wasn't necessarily after Oscar.
No.
That's just the
Again.
first baby that rolled over the slime.
As a kid, you don't realize they're building all the negative energy for you right here. They're
Yeah.
showing you previews of it, which...
The apartment manager yelling at this other
Which they
person
probably
out
should
here.
have done more throughout the film rather than just in the very beginning.
But
They do.
It was
Not
like
as much.
when I watched this for the first time when I was like 25 or something. It had been a few years, and I was like, oh yeah, though, like that's pretty good. I like that.
I ain't the dog man.
Dag. Do you like
Dag.
dags?
Caravan, better Uncle Lee.
Is that,
For my man.
is that a grocery store in New York? We got to
Oh.
go there.
All right, so Dana's looking at this carriage like, where's the
Carriage.
baby going?
Patty Winkle Baloo.
Now-
It's fun of me, baby.
For my baby.
Right now, since you have a newborn baby, does this affect you differently?
No. I will say, though, after becoming a parent, watching like stuff where kids get hurt and stuff is mentally affects you a lot differently than it does otherwise. Like,
Well,
as
that's
a-
how I am with dogs and cats.
Yeah, but I'm like that with dogs, too, though. Like, I saw that dog there a minute ago, and I didn't want to mention it, but now that you brought it up, I was like, that fucking poor, beautiful dog's dead.
Have you ever rolled your
Yeah.
child?
I got a little sad about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Have you ever deliberately rolled your child into traffic to recreate this scene?
No, but people drive fast on streets, or like when they drive fast in like neighborhoods and stuff. And
Like
you can't
your
get anyone-
neighborhood?
Yeah, like my neighborhood, for example.
It's a fucking
I've always
racetrack.
wanted to just go to like a garage sale and buy a carriage like this and put a baby in it and like push it out and have someone.
that's
hit
what
it
we could do
and be
outside
like,
your house.
Slow down, asshole.
Put a watermelon in it. So
I've had several people tell me like I could get sued for that, so I've never actually done it. But I'm like, well, slow down, yeah. And Alex over here fucking like zapping it out for us.
this was sorely missing in Afterlife.
When I first saw that Ghostbusters 2 logo, I saw it at the Cinema 8 theaters in Olathe, Kansas, and I saw the teaser poster first, right? And I saw that after coming out of the movies, and I remember flipping the fuck out, and like my parents having to explain to me like, that's not playing right now, you gotta wait. And I'm like, what the fuck you mean I gotta wait? Why do they got a poster for it?
They're trying to show that the Ecto-1's a little in bad condition right now, too. Like, not great, like it was making popping sounds and shit. And, like,
So
as a kid, it's one of those things, again, you don't really notice too much.
And here they've got the Ecto-1 license plate with the Lady Liberty on there, not the 1A, and it's not the old yellow plates.
Yeah, that yellow plate makes no sense in Afterlife, no matter
Now,
what.
this birthday party was shot upstairs in the firehouse and later in production because they've got the super-duper padding on the shoulders here. So those 3 windows in this part are the actual upstairs windows of the L.A. firehouse you can see that look out above.
Oh, yeah.
So you can clearly tell exactly where they are.
Now,
Oh,
what?
I thought it was going to be He-Man.
Now, what all is this mom from? Didn't we say she's in a lot of shit?
I think so. Last time we looked it up, and here's Brownstone Boy number 2. Jason Reitman himself.
Yeah. The guy who would exploit Harold Ramis's death.
Jesus Christ.
He did it, not me.
Everybody turn the commentary off.
I've got, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Alex views do not necessarily represent
The views of
Strange
Sony
Glow
Pictures.
Media Incorporated.
Yeah. So that tape deck, I went out and bought one of those Sony tape decks, that exact model. So I've got it, and we have it under con displays.
Well, to go back to the GB2 logo, it shows both legs in the opening here, but then like on their patches and stuff, it's just the one leg, and on the poster and stuff. So the logos look different. And I think I remember reading that like they lost something happened where they had to
Lost the art file or something.
Yeah. So the one you see the most of only has like the one leg.
The thing about the GB2 logo, like, right, clearly they went through and made the GB1 logo a highly finished product. The GB2 logo looks very hand-drawn.
Ghostbusters fans absolutely hate the GB2 logo for some reason, and they don't understand how it could possibly make sense as a promotional thing in universe or anything. They're like,
Well,
it doesn't make.
it
It's like the
is-
peace sign.
It is bad. I'll give you that. It's not as bad as some people make it out to be, but it is stupid, and no company has done this or would. It's fucking dumb in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I have GB2 logo stuff just because...
But at least you can kind of rationalize.
They
it
might
in
revamp
universe,
the logo,
though.
but they wouldn't put a 2 on there.
It was a peace sign. And then in that commercial races, they have double the firepower and know-how, and it makes somewhat sense.
Yeah, but it's still really fucking dumb. Let's be
And it
honest.
was only temporary.
It's more marketing than anything else. I don't know why they used it. in
Yeah,
the
it's
entire
movie
shooting.
marketing.
Yeah. For the marketing, it made sense, but...
And I'm not opposed to having Ghostbusters 2 logo because I like just having different shit. I don't want 400 of the regular Ghostbuster logo, even though I do have that.
Yeah.
Well,
Gives
people,
it some variance.
these same fans are really upset that the Ghostbusters theme song exists in universe as well. And I'm like, they could have hired somebody to make the jingle, right?
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Even
mean,
if it
it's-
was Ray Parker
again,
Jr..
It is dumb. That's one of the reasons Ghostbusters 2 is fucking dumb. Let's be honest. There's dumb things about this movie. In terms of...
I like that they have a jingle.
I love this movie. But if I'm breaking it down and like trying to be a critic, I could go
Well,
on all day about
anything
fucked up shit in this.
Anything dumb about this movie is completely overshadowed by the fact that people don't remember the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walking down the street.
Well, here's
Well,
my
Nobody,
thing.
not
nobody
necessarily that
believes
they
in
don't.
ghosts.
It's dumber that they don't remember that shit in Afterlife.
The hot take here, though, and it's
Either.
not even really a hot take, it's just being honest with yourself.
And there's
There's
the
a-
Reitman daughter.
Yep.
Catherine and her show Working Moms is fucking hilarious if you haven't seen it, especially if you have kids. It's really good if you haven't checked it out.
I'm
Dead
sorry.
tooth.
Recommend it.
What were you saying?
Dead tooth.
Yeah. She's a cat woman.
Yeah.
No, I would say Ghostbusters 2. A lot of people that love Ghostbusters 2 as much as Ghostbusters 1 are like Nick and I's age, where
Wait, you saw it in theaters. They don't.
the
They didn't see the
nostalgic
first one.
tie
They saw the
is-
second one.
yeah,
in theaters,
the
though.
nostalgic tie to seeing the second one in theaters and never having seen the first one in theaters beforehand like has that psychological imprint of
I think
it on there. And even though it's not as good of a movie for a sequel
I
for the
think
time,
it's
it's good.
it's different, but I don't really have less feelings for it.
No, like these scenes here setting up like the negative energy and everything else they're studying make a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
some of that shit later on, hey, we had that gray dog in the background. Our older sister had it. They've got an outfit on it, but it's like a big fat puppy dog. I wonder what those are called.
I also like to look at this as a perspective of what we know about Egon now. That he's been a parent
Yeah.
at this point for quite a while, and is
8
a
years.
scumbag.
He has an 8-year-old. He has an 8-year-old daughter right now.
But
Yeah.
clearly he loves dipping his toes, if you know what I mean, because
Yeah, he's like
Dana
he's
came in
feeling
and,
out
like,
if he can bang Dana right
yeah,
there.
he's like, huh.
He's like, I might be able to slip right in this.
It's like Venkman fucked us up. The recent 4K release of
Oh,
all the
yeah.
bonus footage had the alternate take of this show. I think this
alternate,
version,
completely different set.
yeah, it was-
different.
everything was different.
People in it. And
I think this works better, honestly, in the story of the movie.
the alternate one feels more like Jerry Springer than
Yeah, it
What we
feels
ended up
more
getting
like
here.
something.
More trash TV kind of a
it
thing.
was really trashy. Yeah.
Instead of just like exploitative bullshit.
Now that is funny though that they say that by Afterlife, Peter went into marketing, right? And obviously marketing the Ghostbusters and
He
then
was
on
a
this show.
marketing professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would make sense because he's even making fun of this guy. He's like, you don't even have
Exactly.
the book rights line out. Like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah,
Baby?
he was supposed to be the marketing guy for the
Shouldn't you be saying
Ghostbusters company.
1993, better yet 1994?
You're not even going to see paperback
paperback,
copies
yeah.
for like
He kind of looks like Bill Murray's brother in Scrooge, the actor.
All I can think of him
He
in
should have
is,
got his brother to play this.
What's the big one's Transformers. He's
Joel.
the dad in. He's in
Oh yeah, yeah.
Small Soldiers, the Joe Dante flick.
Yeah,
as the dad.
he's one of those one guys.
He does a good job at what he does, though, and
And
he's
I-
funny in this. It's funny seeing him.
I love how this lady
And-
uses this thing as a way to explain her cheating on her husband.
There's so many
like,
Ghostbusters.
it's clearly that's like somebody heard this story and just wrote it into the
There's
script.
so many Ghostbusters fans that don't understand this. They're like, "Oh, she's talking about the 2016 movie," and it's like, no, she was making up a story to cover up her affair.
Yeah. Some sort of a mind ray.
But I really,
Mind ray.
I really like this joke where she doesn't remember his name, so she looks at the sign
Oh yeah.
and then she says Peter, and I don't think a lot of people catch that.
No, there's subtlety in this.
There's,
Right, when this movie's really funny, it's great. But then when you get to the main story arc, is what's kind of just repetitive, right?
Earlier when I was trashing this movie, there's plenty to trash, but it doesn't mean I don't personally love it myself. I still do, but
I don't think it would take that many tweaks to make it.
well, honestly, you gotta. If you want to take out the sequelitis, you have to get out of some of the things like the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And I like the Statue of Liberty though, but it is a sequelitis trait where they're like big giant thing in the city again.
But at
this
least
time it's Ghostbusters.
At least it
or-
wasn't another giant monster to fight. Though,
At least it's them controlling it this
Yeah.
time for sure.
Yeah.
So it has that element. Ghostbusters are just kaiju movies. Like, except for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, we got nothing giant in that.
All three others have kaijus.
2016, you get a bunch of parade balloons
Rowan gets
coming
to be a
along.
kaiju though.
Well,
now,
that too. Yeah. Weird.
I saw the guy that played Rowan in a commercial. the
I've
other
seen
day.
him in something else, another movie.
He's done
or
a lot of
something.
commercial
He was
work.
in A Few Talent Stupid Gesture as one of the writers for National
Yeah.
Lampoon, which had actors portraying Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Ivan Reitman.
Love the behind the scenes set here. So you got all the Christmas wreaths and everything else here. That's
It's a Christmas movie.
everyone,
No, it's not.
I know who you are, Mr. Reitman.
just takes place over the holidays. Now he plays a good asshole villain, and this is to replace Walter Peck.
I love him in my favorite is Scary Movie. When he's showing the pictures to Sydney, he's like, now do you want to look at these and tell me if anything rings a bell? And it's just him in lingerie.
Yeah.
And again, before he leaves, he's like, no, just take one more look at that one. Nothing?
Do you think it's worse to have another character like Peck, or should it, or would
Well,
have
see,
been
that
worse?
is another sequelitis thing.
But
He
would
is
have been-
taking that role.
But would have been worse to have Peck back.
Yes, it would have been worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Peck
Because
as
at
the
least
mayor's
he's
assistant.
in a different role, and he's trying to fuck them over. Hey, we've been there.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was cool because
He's
when
worse
you
than
look at it
Peck.
this way, it doesn't. It's like when you're seeing it.
It looks like you're in the middle of downtown, like right
Yeah, you're
there.
just
You're
like,
like right
whoa.
on the edge of
He's
Manhattan.
worse than Peck because Peter gives Peck a reason to hate him, and
And
Yeah.
fucking the best addition to this movie, if you ask me. He is our new Louis Tully, though. But
He's the most quotable part of this movie, I feel.
he's fucking magnificent. Let's just be honest. Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this. No one listens.
This white thing.
Like, yes.
I love how this painting's been in storage for years. You know, they don't say for how long, but, this painting's been in storage.
The painting concept, I like. The Vigo thing. Vigo's a good villain for this movie. I like that. That's very strong concept.
Well, actually, we were saying that she just happened to run over the slime, but she also works at the museum that Vigo is at.
It's flowing, too, yeah.
So I think it was deliberate on Vigo's part. I don't know.
Well, I mean...
Hard to say, but I'm just saying, like, that carriage runs away.
Otherwise, it's too much coincidence.
Because everyone's like, why does that thing run through the slime there? And, yeah, maybe...
really
the slime there could be there, though, because Vigo controls the slime, and he knows
she's going to be there.
People are confused about the opening, why the carriage runs around.
No, I don't think a lot of people ever think about that.
Every day I say...
I don't think a lot of Ghostbusters fans think.
Do I have a bad
For people that idolize scientists, sometimes you wonder, like, do you guys realize this is... Some of this is based on research and things like that, right? You know, Dan's family is, like, well-known to be big believers, and then Harold Ramis is like, I don't believe in ghosts.
Hopefully Dan got an honorary degree in parapsychology or something.
Raised a cult. We've been there, too, when we did our New York tour.
Now it's like a...
It looks completely... You can't even tell.
It's like an Asian...
It's hard to tell.
It's an Asian tea restaurant or some shit like
There's
that.
There's about
Boba
400
tea
things stuffed in there. You can't tell.
So they got the little Christmas tree on Ray's shop, too. It's all decked out.
That is pretty cool.
They got what?
The little Christmas tree there?
Oh, yeah.
They have good touches, right? I mean, people are like, oh, and the wreath in the background. Like, it's not a Christmas movie, it's just a holidays movie,
now that you
right?
look for it. Well, yeah, this part takes place right before Christmas. Which, this movie has a timeline problem like the first one. Like, all this happened, and they went back into business and got all this shit going all within the span of, like,
a month?
At most.
I mean, based on all the decorations, you assume you're at Thanksgiving or post-Thanksgiving, right?
And then the movie ends on New Year's. So
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely like the end of November, early December here.
I think in Dana's apartment there's a calendar that has turned to November, if I remember right.
Magical paths to fame and fortune.
But as we know, people start putting up Christmas decorations and shit before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but in '89 it wasn't
maybe not
like
so much
it is
in 80,
now.
right.
You know, like stores would actually wait, start doing Christmas stuff.
But when they go to Dana's, her calendar's turned to November. So
they really did a great job decorating Ray's shit. You know, just kind of showing that hippy dippy level of him in there.
Well, yeah, it's like the spiritualism.
Is this what he's wearing
of
in
the 20s and 30s that all the goth girls are into again now?
He's wearing that exact outfit in Spirits Unleashed, isn't he?
Probably,
Ray, I'm pretty sure. He somehow recreated his shop right next door to My Dana Barrett.
So there's a lot of people that would say they kind of based Vigo off Vlad the Impaler to some degree. You know, obviously they changed the look. If you looked at some of the earlier concept art of it, it
There's
looks
just
a lot
lots
closer
of
to
weird
that.
shit you could base it off of.
I wish
from,
Vigo was a real historical character. That would have been cool.
Yeah. He's fascinating. They wrote it really well. That's what they did well in this movie. Is
You're compelled to
they
know,
didn't
like,
do
why.
it in Afterlife, and they didn't do it in Answer Call. But these first two are excellent at the lore and having cool, explainable lore.
Well,
the problem
Afterlife just copy and pasted though.
What they added some stuff too. I'll give them, but that stuff wasn't interesting to me. The stuff that they tried to do, like where in the inconsistencies.
Well, and the Terror Dogs turning into
I don't want to just sit here
smoke
and talk
monsters
shit on that one because I do like it too. But I just
we'll do a commentary
more
on
issues.
Afterlife.
Well, we got to do Answer the Call too, man.
Yeah, I'm down.
The decor in here, like the pink wallpaper, like how much is Dana making? Like this is a giant fucking apartment, and
Supposedly you make a lot of money in
I was about to say she
in
was
that
in a
orchestra.
fucking actual orchestra. She was probably making good money then.
Yeah.
Because now she's trying to go
She's
back.
she's on maternity leave from the
yeah.
But she's doing it at the art museum. Yeah, you bet cleaning the paintings. They have to fucking trust the motherfucker and shit too to do that.
Well, yeah,
Well,
we
she could
we
fuck
saw
him
what
up like
happened to
Mr.
that
Bean.
Jesus painting or whatever it was. Remember that? in
Yeah,
real
but
life?
you remember in Mr. Bean
Yeah.
when Peter McNichols works at the art museum?
I know.
Is that why they cast him in that movie?
Dude, I don't know, but I love it. It's a sequel. I don't care. It's in universe.
Snow globe in there?
Baby
Reagan's
is
playing with.
Maybe
baby
get
is
that tape
ticklish.
recorder.
I have looked at a lot of these extra gadgets and the gizmos.
What about that bib? You got that bib for your baby?
I do not.
Did you ever get the Winnie the Pooh romper?
No. Which didn't somebody say that like they've CGI'd Winnie the Pooh out of it
I think that was a hoax.
on like a TV? I'm like, why would they go through and do that?
I'm pretty sure that was a...
Snowman. Which is funny when like places like Ghostbusters News are like, oh, Ghostbusters is coming to such and such for streaming, and you're like, you do realize like everyone that's has that, like I have more copies of this movie than any
There's a lot
one
of
person
people
should
in the
probably own.
Ghostbusters groups that watch it like on AMC or something when it comes on. I'm like, don't you have
Yeah, I just go into
a
my
means to not watch it?
I just
with
go into
commercials,
my digital library and have it on there.
or they have it on DVD only.
I mean, I guess so. PKE meter here, right? Which Stance is trying to use, and clearly he's like not as good at using that as
He's not good with props.
Harold Ramis was. Like Harold Ramis, like had that thing down to an art form.
And he's
in
got
the
the
first movie.
Gaga.
Yeah.
One thing I got on to Spirits Unleashed for is they called the Geiger meter an upgrade to the PKE, even though they detect two completely different things.
Yeah. That's one thing some of the lore just hasn't shown some of this extra stuff in there. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity for it, but even like the video game didn't use the Geiger meter, and you thought that there could have been some.
It's possible you could just say they integrated that into the regular PKE. You can like switch modes or something maybe, but
You still have some similar like design aesthetic from Dana's like personal style, like that
from
backdrop.
the first movie.
Yeah, from like the way that like glass is all set up in the background there. Set design's well done.
I do like her apartment in the first one better.
Yeah, that
Oh, yeah.
first apartment's pretty cool, but then obviously as a parent too, you got all this stuff.
Yeah, she's...
I still have a metal Slinky. They re-released like the good metal ones.
I was about to say, I've
Did
seen
you
them
straight
at
go?
Walmart, and I've debated buying one just
Yeah.
for this purposes, but
I bought one because I was going to cut it up and give it to all the members of Midland for so they can straighten it,
you
so you can
straightened it?
straighten it the best.
You could sell that on eBay. Straightened part of Slinky.
Yeah.
the Spangler Award. You have to be able to straighten a slinky and get away with 40 years of not seeing your children.
That is an interesting thing, and I know everyone's like, well, they're going to have time to like go back and
People
talk
want to
about
argue
that.
it doesn't make him a deadbeat, but absolutely it does. I'm sorry. And I don't want it to be.
I
that
think
way.
at
It just
one
it does.
point in the making of the movie, they're like, hey, this kind of makes him look like a deadbeat. So they tried to like explain it away, but it just caused contradictions.
I mean, I understand that kind of when you're retconning something and you're trying to make a story that way, you kind of got to do what you got to do. But
I guess we'll save that for the afterlife.
The big thing
discussion.
there is like to say that the mental illness perceived by his friends, because clearly he's obsessed with the end of the world here based on Afterlife, right?
I still don't see how he would have freaked Ray out. I think Ray would have been right there with him. I don't know. But we can save
Yeah.
that for afterlife. Afterlife.
Well, this is very early 90s aesthetic.
Why
though.
did he need to crawl under the crib completely?
I don't know. And Dan Aykroyd here in like his weird.
I like his leather jacket, red shirt look going though.
What's funny is
it's
like
classic Dan.
how dorky Dan Aykroyd looks in this movie compared to Ghostbusters 1. In Ghostbusters 1, he like looks kind of like a normal guy, but here
Well, he's starting to get middle age here, so he's
he's
getting
really-
a gut. You know, he has a.
Do you see that
turkey neck a
picture in the
little bit.
70s with Belushi? He was looking pretty hot.
Harold's looking pretty good here still.
yeah.
Does Harold look the same from the first
No,
movie?
Bill looks pretty
Bill looks
similar.
pretty
Bill looks
similar,
pretty
but he
similar.
definitely. I mean, he's aged a tiny bit, but he looks the same way he does in What About Bob and Scrooge. So it's kind of like it's not off-putting.
So the crazy thing about Bill Murray is they did Ghostbusters.
What's the crazy thing about Bill Murray?
Well, they did Ghostbusters. It blew up so big, he did not want that public attention, so he fucking disappeared. The first movie he came back and did was another ghost movie, which was Scrooged. And then right after that, they did this. Which I'm surprised he agreed to do after stepping away from the spotlight for that long because of this.
How did they get him? Did they ever really explain? He just
They all just said
He
they
just
wanted
showed
to work
up.
together, and then the only thing they could agree
I was
on
about to say it is working with Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd and Ivan Reitman again, so it's probably like
funny
these are
guys.
some
yeah.
of my best friends. I'm gonna fucking do this.
I think the ultimate thing, though, that killed this movie from being as dark and as funny as it could have been,
that damn cartoon.
well, yeah, it was basically the Coca-Cola saying, like, hey, you know, we want to play off the success of the real
But it's not
Ghostbusters.
People say it's more childlike, but this one scared me more as a kid, so I don't know what they're talking about
there's
necessarily.
adult content and scary stuff.
But when you think of the
They just didn't go all the way. Was
the
thankfully they
language,
didn't.
yeah, Venkman was way toned back. They're like dickless jokes.
I could see that. Like,
blowjob
it's not
jokes.
as gross and harsh.
It's
it's still scary, I think.
in terms of the
Oh,
dialogue.
those heads on a pike and
Vigo
the
is
fucking
scarier
sewer?
than Gozer, too.
Yeah. It's the Ghostbusters themselves. Their dialogue is
Gozer's
way
cool as
fucking
shit, but-
toned back.
No smoking other than Ray and his cigars later. And
Yeah, the Ghostbusters are very family friendly
No
in this
beer.
movie. Yeah, there's no beer cans sitting around. It's like,
It's kind of a shame, but you don't really think about it too much unless you're...
this is done. I love all these
Woo!
fucking hand-drawn electrical
yeah.
things. And then the overlay here to the River of Slime.
Yeah, that's terrifying looking. This shit freaked me out as a kid because I'm like, God damn, I don't ever want to
This-
like have anything that has Vigo on it because it's gonna fucking do this shit to me.
This could have been a sitcom. Like, I would have watched this sitcom.
Laugh track this shit.
I am curious, though, like, why they did this. Because, they did all the behind-the-scenes showing when they did the voice dub on this. Why they chose to overlay his head as a giant floating head here.
Instead of showing his whole body.
Yeah, because there's video scenes of them shooting these scenes like as a whole body, like talking on like the 3D display piece they made of the painting itself.
Probably because they want to zoom in on his face, but also see the background, I would assume.
Well, they probably just looked at it afterwards and were like, it doesn't look as good. It's
Yeah.
not the
I
effect want.
like it this way.
I don't
Yeah.
mind it. I like it.
Just curious though,
tad?
to, like to see like the what could have been.
See,
or
those
what they
effects are great. Yeah. I
Oh
love it.
yeah, that hand drawn like lightning and electricity stuff looks fucking amazing.
I think the
Love it.
proton streams look a lot better in this one too.
Really, I really
The first
prefer
one
them-
comes and goes in and out of good, I think.
The first one, the Slimer scene, they look amazing. At the end of the movie, like where it's so overblown out because
it's just
of
an
the lighting.
orange line, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard there because it's so.
This is one of the most
overwashed
quoted
anyway.
scenes, though, for
What?
this movie. This scene.
Oh, them
Everything that happens during
straight
this,
level,
yes.
yeah. Yo.
Hey, Ziggy.
And I'm telling you, if your utilities are in this bad a shape down here that somebody's foot touching it causes something to break like that,
Yeah.
you're already in Flint, Michigan level of water.
I've seen this scooper
deterioration.
get built by prop makers a
Now
couple
this-
times. I like to have that.
Yeah, that's
This
cool.
whole concept of the pneumatic transit was a real thing, and it was only like a couple of blocks, like maybe 1 or 2 blocks. Like, so it's very, very tiny. Based on a real historical thing, some kind of shit, Dan Aykroyd was like super nerdy and interested in. Came out really well. Like, this whole thing looks great.
Y'all hear the fan theory that the slime was the marshmallow remains from Gozer, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and it all got rinsed down in the sewers and shit. That would have been
Well,
a way
they
to
said that
tie
this
it to the first movie.
it's
I guess.
materializing because of the negative energy too, though. It would make
Yeah.
sense if that like
Well, it
contributed
could
to some of it.
It could have grown from it, yeah.
Yeah.
but still,
I always there should have been a supernatural reason why people didn't remember ghosts and stuff. Like it was affecting them.
well, not. That's the thing is like, how many people would have seen ghosts that day? You think because it shows them all over town, but like still like
But there would have been news footage of Stay Puft. And
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
Stay Puft
24-hour
do you
news
think
cycle.
the government covered it up? I mean, there's
Probably,
even
I
a
mean,
line of
there
dialogue
should have been something.
to explain it. Just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, if you got sued by every city, county in the state of New York, you'd think that would make sense.
Yeah,
But,
they completely discredited the Ghostbusters.
which governments do,
That's
though,
kind
so
of
that's very
that's kind of
feasible.
creepy. That
Oh yeah.
John
ILM
Claw
switching over
looking thing.
to this was good. I mean, the effects of the first movie are great, right? As long as you're doing practical and that's all CG there. But I think this movie works so well because of that. Like, really, your pipe's that loose? Like, that was going to happen on its own anyway from that
Yeah,
thing being
really.
fucking rotted. So
Oh, the Twin Towers.
Ghostbusters did 9/11.
It irritates the shit out of me that they erased the Twin Towers from the.
so here's a
Remember when we
2009
talked about
game.
he said Flight 93 just arrived and all that shit.
well, I was gonna say, what are you gonna do when in the new Ghostbusters Firehouse movie, you got to deal with the ghosts of 9/11
You should
because
I mean,
there's a mass.
They might not do that,
fucking-
but they need to do that.
there's a mass.
the
fucking,
Twin Towers just arrived.
Twin Towers just arrived.
I'm just saying because like New York lore, like all those people that died before they were supposed to, all that kind of stuff, right?
Oh, unfinished business out the ass. That'd be ghosts all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have lots
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Wall
you're gonna
Street
tell me
ghosts
there-
up there. Like,
No
what
ghosts.
the fuck happened?
No ghosts in 30 years. There'd have been a surge in 2001. Come on.
You ever seen Remember Me? It's a movie with
Isn't that Tom Hanks?
no.
Sounds familiar.
What's his face? What's his face from the Twilight movies and
Pattinson?
Batman? Yes, Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Not
It's a
that long
romantic
ago.
movie, and
It
then
was-
at the end you find out it's September 11th, and
It
he's
was
like looking out of a
Pierce
building.
Brosnan's his dad.
Yeah.
It was free on YouTube, and I watched it driving back from Springfield like a year or two ago. Around
Yeah, there's a
Halloween.
twist ending where you find out he's dying in 9/11 because he's meeting his
Yes.
dad in his dad's office in the Twin Towers.
That wasn't a
And
bad
you don't
movie,
know that it's
though.
the Twin Towers until the very end, and it zooms out and shows him, and then it shows a plane going in him. And he's like, "Oh no, it's Robert Pattinson's dead. Oh no!" And he just made up with a girl he loves, and he's meeting his dad, and he's
It's a pretty good movie, though. I liked it.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
no
it's
sh-
decent. Like, I'm not hating on
You,
this.
you want me to come in?
I just think, like, how do you go to New York and, like, not mention that at all? Because that was huge.
Well, like I was saying, 2009, the video game takes place in 91. They did not draw the Twin Towers in there in the skyline, even though they show the spot where it would have been.
I think that was just more of a
But how is that?
controversy.
How is it disrespectful to?
I don't know.
Isn't it more disrespectful to not? I don't know.
They're in all the
Well,
Ninja Turtles
considering
games,
how-
so, and
well,
the re-releases.
They're also in all of the 9/11 movies they've made. 400 of them. There's even one I saw recently that was made a couple years ago with Charlie Sheen and Whoopi Goldberg and
Is
shit.
Ray wearing the same watch from the first movie in here?
Is it that Seiko watch that
Could be.
people remade?
So Judge Wexler, the guy that plays the judge in this movie, plays the dying old man in the Ozark show. If you've ever seen it, he's the guy
I
that
still
they
haven't watched that yet.
buy the
I
house
love Ozark.
I need to watch that.
That was my Kanye impression. I love Hitler, he says.
from. Yeah, fucked up, man.
I love Ozark.
Save the ghost stories for the kiddies.
I got my law degree.
Ladies and gentlemen of the audience.
Rick Moranis is underappreciated in this movie too, because he
He does seem somewhat tacked on.
A little bit,
but
yeah,
he does
for sure.
He
he's
does good
so
with
much
this.
even weirder than he was in the first movie. Like all that shit just made him even more of a
fucking
strange-
face. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
There's one time I turned into a dog and they helped me.
It's a good.
Thank-
That's a good reference to the first movie.
Yeah, no, it's a good one.
all this stuff here too, and then like, oh, randomly we got new ribbon cables on here.
Well, it's been 5 years.
Well, and the other thing I heard too is that they obviously they didn't know the movie was going to be a crazy hit, so they salvaged that shit for other set pieces and stuff too.
Catching ghosts? I don't know, maybe.
It says it's only been a couple of years since they used this stuff, not 5. I like to think they stayed in the business for a few years after the first movie.
Or at least a year, maybe,
That's where the
while the
real
lawsuits were
Ghostbusters.
being fought
Yeah.
until they
Yeah.
were settled and shit.
In
and
my
they had
head
to
canon, there's a
close.
realistic version of real Ghostbusters that happens while they're being sued.
Yeah. The pink slime too was an interesting choice. I mean, it looks great on screen, right?
Maybe
I
for
love
being
it.
pink,
I think it's fun.
the color of it, or
Yeah, just to change the color of the slime here.
well, if it was green, you'd be like, is that just Slimer? Is that Slimer's remains?
Yeah.
Well, it shows that there's different types of ectoplasm and stuff like that, so I like it.
Yeah, that book that comes with the employee
There's no
welcome
malice
kit
intended.
shows all the different colors and what they mean. Like red slime means that the person was murdered or something and shit like that.
Well, the slime used to come in the containers. It used to be different classes and stuff and have descriptions.
yeah,
and
the
stuff.
Kenner. Yeah, again, that's
Oh,
like
really?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
like class 7, class 5, et cetera, the different colors.
Give me a break. We're both lawyers.
No,
I
we've
think
helped
he
them
felt
enough
them up,
already. Your witness.
the casting. That the supporting cast is great because even her, the DA.
Mm-hmm. She does a good
Great.
job for a small
Mhm.
role. Yeah.
And I
Kit-
love how there's a bunch
kitten.
of people in the audience. Now, the only time that Walter Peck could have showed up in this would have been here to
So like
testify against them,
as an
or to be
anti-character
out.
witness.
Yeah, is to be in there rooting for them to get locked
There's a
up.
guy in
Well,
the
he could have
audience
also
dressed
showed
like
up in a plane with Egon's old baby mama
Yeah,
and been harassing her.
like Peck's dating Egon's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess she would have been like 8 years old here. I guess.
Well, he's dating his ex.
Oh, the ex. Oh, the mom.
Peck's the
oh.
stepfather.
You mean Janine? Because even after seeing the movie, people still thought Janine was the mom.
Right.
yeah, that was an interesting shift in there, and I think that was based on the cartoon that they're like, we better not do that. And then
That's
after,
fine. It's been 5 years. Janine moved on.
then it was interesting that the cartoon brought in Lewis. Like
Yeah.
later on after this movie, they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess that guy he was."
And
in
they
that movie.
they referenced Vigo a couple times, or at least once.
2 episodes they at least reference him. So
Stand up. Get up.
to Mr. Tully.
Raymond Stenson. I like how he almost fucks up their names.
And this scene, I love Ray noticing this. That face, right? That's a great meme to share. That GIF.
Yeah, she's twitching.
Iggy, he's twitching.
And then the bars on the trap are silver there instead of the red from the first.
They're different size than the first movie. They're smaller now, right?
Think so.
They're a little boxier.
I like how they have several traps though on the.
They're a little more.
What he's saying here, I always kind of ignored as a child until he goes, "Burned at the stake."
Oh, to a more pure form of justice, and have you both burned at the stake.
He's conservative.
I love it.
Yeah,
he's fucking unhinged.
He's the type of guy that fucking Trump would point to the Supreme Court, like just fucking over the top, like, yes, we're gonna burn you to death at the.
That'd be hilarious
Exactly.
in universe. He's on the Supreme Court.
Yeah. No, I love the Scoleri brothers.
Just tell him you don't believe in
Yeah, it's a
ghosts.
fun concept.
Tonally, though, you're almost at the same time in the movie, like into the movie as you are
Yeah,
when
this
you
is
see
your Slimer.
Yeah,
sure.
I wanted to say this to those people in Florida. They were complaining about it being 35 degrees. Just,
Yeah.
just tell them you
Because-
don't believe in climate change.
Literally,
Yeah.
just like Slimer, as soon as this scene ends, you go into the montage of the back in business montage.
This battle is so much shorter than I remembered as a kid. It seemed like it went on longer.
You gotta do something. I love this.
Like
though.
hunting
It's
down
great.
Slimer takes a while. This
My
is
guys
really
are
quick.
still under judgment restraint order.
That
blue
blue slip
thing.
I got from her. Yeah.
You don't want us exposing
I'll say the
ourselves.
order. Case dismissed.
See, there's lots of dirty jokes. Exposing yourselves.
Yeah, but it's
But
not
no,
like
like,
swear words
dick and
in
shit.
the
Right.
traditional
Yeah, yeah.
sense, right? I mean, it's very family friendly. Like they even make sure to. I mean, those stockings are nice there, but
Yeah, they are.
Remember the trailer when they
but
had
beyond that, like
the
they don't-
trailer? They hadn't finished the effects, so it's just her floating upside down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
Ray's tie, man, like is so ugly. He's so poorly dressed, like in these grandpa looking
Well,
suits.
he's like
in here.
he dresses like a professor or whatever.
Yeah, but Egon's a professor too. But Egon's that professor.
Egon's a little
Egon
more
looks like the
stylish.
fucking guitar player for a hardcore punk band.
He does.
Like it was
Well, the
just in
pompadour.
like a black or white t-shirt and jeans, and it just looks like a geek, and it's just like
Yeah.
fucking shredding on guitar though. That's what Egon looks like.
Then the other big change here is like the foam pad's a little different there because they got the silver tape on it instead of gaff tape. The way they're mounted, and then there's
He was holding it different than people hold it.
I
You
like
noticed? Did you see how he's holding it?
Yeah.
He's
And
sideways
then-
as opposed to how people hold it.
like
and
holding
then-
a gun sideways.
Pretty much.
And then the red voltage label is missing on the GB2 versions of these.
I like how they added the ka-ching sound to when they fire the gun.
Yeah.
I put that on my proton pack. Mike had done it to his, so I had him do it to mine.
Oh, just updated your sound card on your board.
Yeah. I like it a lot better than the original sound effects. See, these streams look great.
Yeah. Well done. They captured the magic of what worked about them pretty well in the first one.
Do you guys not like that the Scoleri brothers look cartoonish and not like real people? Or
Based on Slimer, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
The thing is,
a lot of people complain about that.
the color scheme on them's kind of boring for them to be scary, but they're scary enough. Like they don't need to be like overly cartoon.
Are they
Like
supposed,
Slimer's
they're
this
supposed to
big
look
green blob.
burned, aren't they? Like they're gray, kind of like
Yeah,
they've
they're
been-
grayed out and all that. So like their eyes are glowing. That's the only thing to me that I'm like, whatever.
It's kind of It is cartoonish, kind of. But
They actually have legs too, though, so it's like they're kind of a step between Slimer and a human ghost.
I finally got
They
their,
are, which I think makes sense, right? Because you don't ever know what Slimer really is. But
But
finally-
also, I feel like their appearances aren't beholden to one thing necessarily. I feel like they might only look this way because of the way they were awoken, or whatever you want to say, because they clearly weren't just ghosting around the courthouse.
yeah,
until-
they came out of the slime.
Yeah. So they kind of materialized out of the slime.
come
It
on,
might
fat
have
boy,
something
I'm
to do
gonna take you home to my personal zoo.
I finally got the Mattel Peter and Ray courtroom battle that comes with. They each come with the Scoleri brothers. One of them.
The biggest disappointment
They're
to
hard to
that was
get.
they were so small. The
Yeah,
Scoler- we
yeah.
haven't had a scale.
They're
Scoleri
kind of
brothers.
blue too, aren't they?
well, we didn't have
instead
a
of gray.
fucking Hasbro Muncher either.
No.
Or a Gozer from the new movie. That's what they should have done, is release a new Gozer instead of that one. Mm-hmm. But whatever.
Yeah, because the Gozer version, like where she's half complete, would have been a fucking dope figure.
Oh, that'd have been cool as shit. Like, yeah,
Like with the trap that can rip in half. They've upgraded their phone systems here.
Yes, we're back. People complain about Janine, but I think
and
she like
my dick is hard.
I think she like personality mirrors because I think like she made herself seem like a nerdy bookworm in the first one because she liked Egon.
I see it as both cartoon adaptation, both.
I don't mean to explain it.
Have you ever seen
in-universe.
Pretty in Pink, which came out in 1986, where she plays basically a fucking hipster who owns a record store? I can kind of see some of that in her character in here too, where she's more of a hip person. But if you
People
look
change
back,
like that. I mean, they take on new
Oh, for
personalities
sure.
and shit.
Yeah,
and
people
looks.
take
the
on
way
who
she
they
looked
want, yeah.
before kind of still fits that mold.
And then
Because
this,
I know
Well,
plenty
people
of
are like,
chicks that
she's-
look like.
People are like she's sassier in the first one. Like,
Yeah.
well,
and
maybe
then a
she's
bunch of people
mellowed out a little bit.
debate this trap, and it's looks like it's just buried in the dirt here. A lot of people are like, "What is it?"
Yeah, it's just buried in the dirt.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, it's
yeah.
a small trap," and you're like, "No, it's buried."
I also think she looks a lot younger in this. She looks way older in the first one. I feel like.
It's
Fucking-
just the look, man.
Yeah.
Harold Ramis kills it in this fucking
I
commercial.
think she's
Harold
fucking
Ramis?
hot as shit in
Ramis.
both of them, but
because he like looks down to his spots like the.
I
X.
love watching the full version of this. You know, it's on the special features and on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. I like to recreate it sometime with our group. The first guy had the tan suit on, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's.
the montage is fun.
I wish the gray suit had been used more in the movie.
Egon's like,
Now this
Jesus.
is this montage scene is from
This part, yeah.
that last scene where you see Peter looking at Ray like driving crazy is from the cut scene where he was trying to kill him after leaving the.
This one's always fascinating. You know, you're always curious as to what's going on here.
Yeah, I don't
when you
know
watch
why
this,
they cut-
especially as a kid, because it's like, whoa, I don't even
Yeah, Fritos.
like that Frito bag,
I don't know why they cut out that part of Ray being possessed.
the switchboard back there.
Yeah,
it's
'cause
so
it-
weird not to have connective tissue between the beginning and the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that sets the tone so you understand that Ray's. I mean, you see Ray get possessed just enough in the museum when he's back there later on. It makes sense.
I never realized how much the tan suits look different from the first movie. Watching it on small TV.
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
and standard definition.
I like that TV.
Mm-hmm.
I say I have the Magnolia version of this suit now, and I love it.
I've got that mug and balloon somebody made a pretty good replica of.
I need to make some mugs of our logo.
Egon's a very sexual person, though, right?
Do you have
Because-
dishes of this slime
I should.
that look like this? Because that's an easy thing to make. That Tupperware.
We've never done that for cons, but we should. But
Well, I don't know how many years we were gonna attach
everyone's talked about doing
an
like
aquarium
the
air
the-
pump or whatever
yeah.
to it and make it bubble.
but no one's ever gotten around to it.
We need to have somebody do it this year, I think.
That'd be pretty easy, though.
The viscosity of the slime, because it's not actually going to be slime. That's more of like a.
We just make the slime like we do now. Just you
That one
control
just
how
probably,
thick it
you
is.
put a little bit of dish soap, Dawn pink dish soap in that to get that bubble. That's what that is.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. Yeah, no, it's not a regular slime recipe there, but
This is the only time you see the gray suit outside
It'd be
the
good because then you
montage
could test it out with people. Be like, say
or the
so-
end credits, I guess.
I love how
So
they have all the junk food just still scattered all around this firehouse.
yeah, Egon's been jerking off.
Oh,
with
the
it.
toaster's on the shelf in the background up there. It looks like. Do they take it off that?
Supportive, nurturing things to it.
It's been beaten off with it, using it as a lube, man.
Does Egon have a ghost baby?
Does he actually? Are they saying he fucks it or just slept next to it in the bed?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm pretty
that's-
sure it's a
him-
sexual joke. Look at him. He's like,
Well, it'd still be embarrassing to literally sleep with it too. I guess.
I mean, he might have just been snuggling it, but yeah, who knows?
I think that's
He
a
put
joke
his-
that works both ways because kids would
He put
think
his
it's
penis.
just funny.
He put his
Yeah.
penis in it, in the slime. What if his penis got possessed?
And then did they put toast in there too, or like did that slime turn into toast?
The,
'Cause
s-
you- I
the
only see them
slime
put
had
the-
to have turned into toast because there's no slime on the toast.
I only see the slime going there. Loves Jackie Wilson. So you hear both versions of the song in this movie. Here they hear the traditional version, and then you hear the Howard Huntsberry at the end for the big montage scene, the big street walking scene. I need to get my toaster to do this. I've got one of these. So they have some.
You
of
can
these,
literally see the pins coming out on it. It's
yeah.
not hard at all to.
No, I think you just need an
Trigger
Arduino
something.
kit. Do they have? Yeah, and they got the. Look how thick the power cord is there to control it. And you're like, who
Yeah.
cares? It works though, right?
Baby.
And as a kid, I thought he burned his fingers on this because it was going, but he is implying that it bit him.
Yeah.
Like when you're a 5-year-old, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. The old man eating toaster.
I never noticed that Egon blinks when he does it. Mm-hmm. It's Santa. It's a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm. That TV though, too, man.
Mm-hmm. So you watching Die Hard? There's like an airplane scene landing in the background.
Is it not just an airline commercial?
Oh, I mean, it could be.
Yeah, I know Bassmaster.
Get out of the way. Let me see the TV.
Yeah, I know. Get out of the way. I know what you're watching. Hey, you're on one of my 2 favorite shows.
I should have had him cat call.
All right.
Or
Well,
whistle.
How would a
wolf whistle?
ancient man cat call, though? Like, what would he say to her?
I was about to say, this is going. Vigo's definitely going to be one of the faces for my impressions.
Oh my God.
I'm going to use that one.
Yeah. Just have Vigo hanging out talking.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome, Vigo the Carpathian.
He's got to say his little line at the beginning.
Oh, you're very
on a
good.
mountain of blood and a castle of
Yes,
on a
I've
mountain
heard-
of
I've
skulls
heard all
and
of
a
this.
castle of pain. I sat on a throne of blood. What was will be, what is will be no more.
Justin owns these.
Magnetic visors,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Now
I found
is
him at
the
my great grandparents'
season of
house, and we're helping my great grandma move into
home.
assisted living. And I found a pair.
He grabs his hand.
Yeah. And he wipes it. Yeah, he just wipes it on his shirt. The subtlety of that. But yeah, no, I found a pair of those that were made in Kansas City that my great grandfather had
Oh, that's cool.
used for, and so I was like, I'll hang on to those. And I was like, oh yeah, those are in Ghostbusters too.
Bit of a sissy, isn't he?
He's a very powerful magician.
And a genius in many ways.
This painting's so epic. So well done.
It's like, don't piss off Vigo.
Like, so did they get him in costume and then make the painting, or how did I'd love to hear the behind the scenes.
Didn't
On
somebody
who did the
post?
painting.
Somebody posted a story about all that at one point.
Ghostbusters 2 is just lost in the lore, right? There
Well,
was
we
no
have that new
making-
documentary that's going to come out at some point.
Yeah,
That'll
Oh.
be fun.
Too Hot to Hold,
Yeah. Look forward to that.
or sorry, Too Hot to Handle, Too Cold to Hold, which they're still working on, so
Yeah.
that's still going.
Close to finish, I think.
Ecto Crank's talked about, like even though he's stepping back from doing cons
He
over
said he's
there in
gonna
the
finish
UK,
that.
yeah, he's still planning on finishing all of his work up with.
Splash Mommy.
Oh, ruined.
His little basic
Forgot the baby's
phone
in
thing.
this.
Yeah,
I literally only was thinking of, she
she has the pointy bra in this scene.
Yeah.
As a kid, this terrified you though, because like, you'd go run your own bath or whatever when you get to a certain age, and you're like, okay.
Never thought this effect looked bad. A lot of people shit on it.
Oh no, it's different viscosity than the water. It's great. I think it's fine.
No, I mean when the tub comes alive.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's
The
a little
slime comes
dated, but I
alive.
still don't mind it.
it still gets the
I
point
prefer
across. It's fun.
it practical.
Yeah. Now, like, and here the slime is like a solid color, right? It's not clear.
It just looks like soap,
Yeah.
like the hand soap from schools.
Or like that Mr. Bubbles bubble bath,
Oh,
like
yeah,
that pink
yeah,
colored
yeah.
bubble bath. Yeah.
Well, it's mixed with the water too, so it's watered down.
Yeah, but it's the viscosity is so thick because
Look at
it's
that.
just oozing in there. Like
Look
it
at
looks like intestines.
Is this Flint, Michigan?
Yeah, I always thought that looked like intestines there. It's gross. Which adds to the effect though.
Oh,
And then here you get distracted and you're like, what is that behind?
That's me in the background.
that's a penis. That's a
That's
penis.
in my
me the
pants.
That's a
corner.
penis getting hard.
That's me.
Exactly.
What if she threw the baby at it?
And it looks like a nose there though. It's kind of weird.
It kind of
there.
also looks like
the
a
two-
dick, though.
See, people say the
Yeah.
tub looks bad. Like, I don't know.
It looks like an uncircumcised dick. That's like,
Yeah, but it's
hello,
got the
Dana.
2 little holes in the end of it, and you're like, what are those?
Like
what
how-
the hell? I like how he's sleeping in his clothes.
Well, he
Yeah.
got home and he passed out on the fucking.
And he's got a little Christmas tree put up in there. There's a lot of Easter eggs to the business in his apartment, like shit he's just got lying around.
Yeah, a lot of stuff from his office is on the wall, right? That he had on the wall in the office in the first
Yeah.
movie.
Mhm.
Like their newspaper clippings and. He tried to eat Oscar.
One of the better jokes is well, they didn't find it. They did find a little bit of that pink slime, but they tried on all your clothes. And you're
It's
like,
long
yes.
distance phone calls, which no one gets
Chewed on
today.
all your underwear.
Yeah, and they smelled.
This
all your,
generation don't know about long distance phone calls.
They smelled all your laundry.
This apartment always seems like it would be really cool, like structurally,
Mm-hmm. The building looks really nice out in real life too.
Yeah. And this shit,
Oh,
that's
this
funny.
part.
He's connected as.
I found this cap online. I need to get it sometime.
Well, I like how the scientific element is like played up, but they don't like get too much into like telling you why. You just see them working on it throughout.
There's an alternate
conversation.
You see a screenshot of it, an alternate shot where Egon has one of a different color on his head at the same time. And I think Egon's wearing the gray suit.
Is that not in the? Is that just a still photo?
I think I've only seen a still photo of it.
Magicians,
He's got like a
martyrs,
blue
and
cap
madmen.
on or something.
Yeah. Well, the lore they wrote the lore really well in here, right? Having books they're researching into and everything else, and all the equipment they've got.
Evian water box back there.
Mm-hmm.
Can tell.
They're on the early form of the internet. The slime tank sitting there in there. And is this their bedroom? Those are like the beds there.
There's a
Little
bed there.
cot, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the bathroom is where they
Did they
developed
still
the
live
pictures.
there?
I think.
Or does Ray still live there?
They don't ever really explain that.
Because the
I mean,
firehouse is still in their possession, clearly. They didn't
Yeah.
have to like go back and get it. So somebody, I think, at least Ray still.
Oh, I
is
bet
living there.
yeah, Ray's probably had to stay there.
I think they would all live there just to save money.
No, not Venkman. He likes getting laid.
Yeah.
Look at Venkman's
Right.
classy watch there. More people need to go track that watch down and wear it than the Psycho watch.
Did you ever get this jersey to
No.
wrap your baby in?
That'd be another easy screen item to get, but I don't want to wear anything Jets colored, so
Oh my god.
Sports.
I sleep here. I get your hair in my mouth. Like, you want that hair in your mouth no matter where you sleep, Venkman. Calm down.
Get your muff in my mouth.
That was the implied joke. Thank you, Nick.
I don't think that was the implied joke.
This is not a bad shirt Venkman's wearing. I'd wear it.
But yeah, they're so middle-aged, though. But there is beer on his nightstand. He's got some Bud Heavies there.
What's that bucket?
I don't know. He's got some weird shit in his apartment.
he's
though.
got
Yeah,
some
just
weird-
boring, like, and weird.
It's like thrift store shit. You'd be like, it feels like a thrift store booth. His whole apartment does.
Yeah,
That's
and not a good one.
That's probably
No.
that's probably him. Everything's secondhand.
Which is funny. They pull right up here. You can't even really park there.
You can't park that here.
Like, that's the street there, and you can kind of see
Yeah,
the
where the
Statue of
bus
Liberty right
is.
from behind there. Yeah.
we
They're
call
filming
that?
a movie,
Is that Battery Park? Is that what that one was called?
I don't know. But, like, if you went straight that way, like, not very far, like a block or two, you could hit the pier and look at the Statue of Liberty right there. Because we did that.
Another shot of Peter not wearing his uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get those. What is it, like a stethoscope or something? What's he wearing?
Egon's
Egon?
wearing, yeah.
I need to get something like that.
So the Ecto 1A, like, as a kid, like, I never noticed the difference. You're just like, oh, they just redid the car because they're back in business. But clearly different vehicle. The back of the tail's different there.
No, it's the same vehicle, and then they made it look just like the first one again for Afterlife, for no reason. They would put less sophisticated equipment back on the roof, because that's what you would do.
I don't know. There's some of that shit that it'll just piss you off if you overthink it. And I've done that. Like, that's how I left Afterlife.
But either way, the
overthinking
license plate doesn't make sense either way.
What, 1A?
For
Well, yeah, that's
to be the gold license plate in Afterlife. That doesn't make sense.
obviously this was shot later because they're wearing the heavy pads on the packs.
Winston's Cud meter.
So the thing Ray's using is actually a 3D camera, and those
That
things
is
are
$3,000.
fucking stupid expensive. And I don't even know what type of film that uses.
It's
But
a panoramic camera from
Yeah.
'89.
vintage panoramic camera, like a high-end camera.
I
too.
got a 3D printed replica, which was 30 times cheaper. It doesn't move quite like that, but it does spin.
Yeah.
When do you get that camera? How much is that camera?
I've never looked that one up.
People are into vintage cameras, so you never
So
know.
it's probably a lot.
Yes, vintage
If
film
it was
cameras
mass
like
produced
that.
enough, they'll be cheap still. But like,
Well, that
if
looks like
not-
a medium format camera based on the size of it, so it's probably more expensive than just your run-of-the-mill 35 millimeter.
You think they have a digital one that looks just like it?
A lot of the digital bodies don't do that, and then hell, even most of the new digital cameras are mirrorless. So, technology, man. Okay, that's your foreskin shadowing to Ray being possessed at the end of the movie. Clear tube though, clear P tube just tucked into his butt.
Yep, they got clear tubes in this one.
Which I wonder why. Like, what was the
I should
aesthetic
have gotten this
change?
shot like this.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the first movie they were used already, so that's why they were yellow.
Next time
And now
we
they
get
got
back
fresh
there.
tubes.
I don't know, because everyone always has to dye the tubes.
That's the classic.
I do like this apartment, how it's got like the separate room in there. Other than that, it's like the
Lofty, pretty much.
He's got
very
fish.
much a loft besides the bedroom. Yeah.
I think they're all dead.
Take it off.
As a young person, I never really appreciated Venkman talking about the laundry till later on.
I have a
Another
hamper.
TV that
Mini-
looks sick as hell. Look at
Many
that.
subtle layers of laundry. Oh yeah, look at that TV. And then the sea turtle.
Every time I interact with my
Yeah,
hamper,
you can see the
I say I have a hamper.
The USA Today behind them in the time,
yeah,
and the other one.
Yep. Chinatown, I think, is the scene from that one.
Yeah.
I need to get some prints of that for our containment unit wall for the convention.
Is that done yet?
Oh, it's more than done. I just still paying on it.
You just spilled paint on it?
I'm still paying on it because it was $1,200. But yeah, we'll have it for Planet. Damn, her areola is almost,
Popping out at you.
yeah. That right boob's almost exposed. Left boob, whatever.
Now I'm just staring at her tits. So, thanks for that.
Well, she's sopping wet out of the shower, and like, Jesus.
Oh no, she cleaned. You got to have the socks hanging out
Yeah.
in every movie.
Yeah, like we're too stupid to zip up the thing, so we got to go with like a little old school like comic relief here.
I got
All
new cheap moves. Yeah, I love that joke. Hey you, hey you. It's gonna be pretty neat.
I got some Lori Antonelli tapes.
Yeah, he's looking for him now too.
Yeah.
Have you seen the
Oh, he's
laundry
looking for
here,
that
right?
shirt.
Yeah,
You seen a vibrating 12-inch dildo about this long?
that bathroom's pretty dope.
I was
in
just
there,
about to
too.
say
I
that.
just realized like that's inside the bedroom.
I've
within
just
there.
noticed the tile. They're like
Yeah.
each tile's a different color.
I have a hamper.
Neat.
Many subtle layers of clean and dirty.
Well, yeah, he's probably got to go to the laundry.
That applies for anything. If you're wearing an undershirt and it's an outer shirt, yeah. Jeans, they say not to wash, like it's environmentally friendly.
It's mukbang time.
Underwear, though, and fucking
got?
socks, you got to change
Hershey
every day.
almond.
If you don't have enough for the whole class,
I sure don't.
Janine Melnitz, she's back at it.
see by this
Ugh,
point
this
it's
outfit though.
by this point
Oh, I know,
It's
yeah.
fucking just.
by
kill
this
me.
point it's
Kill
after
me.
Christmas. So most of the movies after Christmas. The bulk of the action.
I just want a Janine movie. Fuck Firehouse. Give me a Janine movie. I don't even know
Oh,
what it was.
Do you want to have something to eat with me? I'm telling you, man, he does this character so different than the first one. And you know, like, Rick Moranis is like, okay, so here's what happened to make this guy even weirder than he was.
He got turned into a dog.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
It's disappointing that we never see
Oh!
brain sample tissue.
Yeah, that's what happened. They took a sample of his brain tissue. That's why he's different. Mm-hmm. Like Taylor Swift lives across the street from the firehouse now. There's like really nice apartments like directly across from it or something.
Oh, those lofts right across? Yeah.
So it says, somebody said Taylor Swift lives in that.
Well,
Or one of her homes, I'm sure.
probably.
Her
yeah.
New York home.
When I went there the first time, like right across the street was like a stacked parking garage. So you'd like park on a little lift and it would like raise you up so many ways and stuff.
Right across from the firehouse?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to go to the top of that and look at it.
No, it's gone now, though. They tore that all down.
That's where the apartment is now?
Yeah, that's where like that all got redone. This scene is scary as a kid too. Like I remember being like, God damn, they're gonna fucking burn to death.
And this is the bathroom right outside of the bedroom, right? We'll stick our heads in the toilet.
Like, you're in a room full of chemicals. Why the fuck don't you have a fire extinguisher in that room?
Yeah.
These would make for some cool prints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some groups have had them around, and
I think they have a print of this Vigo, but not like the River of Slime, I don't think.
I would frame that River of Slime one and just hang it somewhere.
yeah. Winston.
Winston saving the day.
I was really hoping that they would write Ernie Hudson up better in this movie, but they really didn't.
A lot of people said he shouldn't even have been in this. Or not like a lot of Ghostbusters fans, but I've heard that. Like, it doesn't make sense for him to still be around or whatever.
Yeah, it does.
Like
They
he would
bonded
have
there.
he would have moved on and those, I don't know. Of course, there's an alternate shot of this inside Dana's apartment.
Up at the door, yeah, which this does work a lot better, I think, on them on the way out than them showing up in the hallway. You show off the car and everything else, it just shows them being, like, in a hurry.
Need to get some raincoats like this. I've seen one at the thrift store, but
this
it
makes
had the hood on there, you know.
this makes Dana
Yeah.
out to be a bad
They clearly
mom,
have
though.
buttons on there, so it probably has a button on
Button
hood.
on hood, yeah.
Dana should have been like, no, we're not going to go to dinner. We're going to help with this investigation
Because
to
it's
save my
baby.
son,
Right.
not go to a fancy restaurant. So fuck her. You know?
Like, you know what happens.
Yeah, you can still fuck me afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll get takeout later.
Yeah.
Because I care about things, and I care about you and your work and my child.
Yeah. No, we're not going to help him.
Women.
Neither are you. Well, she probably knows that Peter isn't actually going to help them. If anything, he's going to distract them from. So maybe it makes sense.
Now, when it comes to this, great scene. Suffers no sequelitis during this. It's just fucking fun and great.
Well, some people like it's not as good because Bill Murray's not in this.
Ah,
And
fuck
I
off.
think it works just fine.
I don't even notice.
No, that's great because Winston's there. Like, gives him time to have some more
They're
screen
all
time.
hilarious in this scene.
Yeah, Winston probably wouldn't have said anything if Bill Murray had been in this scene.
What about the packs? I do love how they're using the charcoal belts. So they've got the life alerts on them and some of the other hangers.
And they're talking about the
accessories in
rats and Dan Aykroyd, you know,
Yeah,
he's
and they wear
giggling about it. It's just,
they wear the black belts with the tan suits in the Vigo battle too.
And they do right by the city of New York because they talk about the different layers of the subway where they built all that shit, you know, the different trains that were running underground before the subways and things like that. So it's historically accurate in a pretty cool way.
I like how.
Did anyone ever look up to see if that train they talked about derailing was a real train, though?
I think I did before. I can't remember if it was or not. I think it was fictional, if I remember. I like how Winston gets singled out here with the. He's like, all right, I'm out of here.
This is legit one of the scariest scenes in here.
you, you almost get the feeling that it's sensing their
This is
fear because the other
crazy.
two aren't scared yet. Winston's already terrified.
This is
And this is terrifying. I
As
love
a kid,
this.
yeah, these fucking heads
this is
on
the
a stake.
darkest thing of any Star Trek, Ghostbusters
is.
movie. Those gloves. I never even thought about those gloves.
Those gloves,
I
yeah.
don't even think Joe has those gloves, and he does this cosplay.
And they have the motherboards on their belts here, just in the back,
I like to have the.
and the trap hooks and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's got his gizmo on the back. What's that next to the gizmo one, Ray?
I don't know.
Or
That's the line. It was on one of them.
no,
That's on
Yeah,
Winston.
but that's not what I was looking at. What's Winston holding? Looks like a plunger.
Shovel?
This is a walking stick.
Isn't it a shovel, I think?
Yeah, I
got a
think he's
shovel?
got a shovel because Ray's carrying that pickaxe.
Oh yeah. There's so many things I don't notice when I notice when it's on mute.
Yeah.
Or just doing the commentary.
And finding one of those
Must be
old
one of the
school
trains
hard hat
above us.
lights is difficult because like those are the big bulky battery ones.
Could you make it? Just get the helmet and put like the.
Probably. Now this train too, I love how the ghost train, it looks
Yeah.
cheesy, but it like feels like it's floating, so it works very well for me.
I love this.
It looks like the Titanic later on, kind of that same.
It does, yeah, same vibe.
Is this the origin of this joke? Did you catch the number on that locomotive or whatever,
That may have been just a
or
play
did that
on that.
predate this?
No, I think that was the
I-
play on that.
I think they
joke.
said that on like Looney Tunes back in the 30s, so probably yeah.
Sorry, I missed it.
He looks
Guys!
he looks a lot younger and
Without his
just
mustache.
different without. It's kind of like Clark Kent.
Yeah. And everyone's like, why didn't you have a mustache in Ghostbusters 2? He's like, I just wasn't wearing a mustache when we made it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like thought behind it. It's just like that's just what I was doing.
Yeah, according to him, it wasn't to make it like the cartoon. He just happened to not have a mustache.
The set dressing on here looks great. Like, this set is a fucking great set when they come down here to the River of Slime.
Classic.
And it's great because, like, all they had to do is have the slime flow through it. Like, everything else looks
Makes me
amazing
think
down
of
there.
the Turtles lair in the second movie.
And this
does, yeah.
scene looks wildly different depending on which version you're watching, the color grading and shit.
Yeah.
Because on the different editions, they've gone back
I was gonna
and
say,
messed with stuff.
watching this on your TV and shit, the
Looks
gray
a lot
suits
better.
look really gray.
Yeah.
A
the
lot of
color-
times it looks
like,
blue or
You need to do a comparison
The
sometime.
color mastering, yeah, and I think Spook Central does a bunch of that shit where he'll do grabs of each different release. So if you want to go research that, check out his stuff, Paul at Spook Central.
There you go. I don't have to do it.
Yeah, he's already done all the work of that and compare the color grading on each of the releases. Because even some of the Blu-ray releases are drastically different from
I'm
the
pretty
prior
sure I heard
release.
Troy Benjamin talking about that originally is where
Yeah.
I learned about it. So
would you have jumped in?
After you guys? I would have jumped in after
I mean,
you
like-
guys.
Yeah, but
I'd go for it.
Winston falls in and be like, he's done for. We're just gonna die too.
Well, it's good to know where Nick stands.
Yeah, don't ever get in a dangerous situation with Nick, 'cause
So
he's going to
take
let
that
us
back.
die.
I would jump in for Justin.
Not dangerous.
Yeah, I guess I'm only going after you, Alec.
There's a
I
difference
jumped
between
in for Booger.
there's a difference
no
between
shit, I'm
dangerous
jumping
and
for a
it
dog.
appearing that he's definitely dead. There's a difference. I like how Egon holds his nose though.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? His name's famous cameos coming up in here.
I hate the dialogue.
That
here.
dude is so fucking toxic and bitter now. It's
Who?
scary.
Yeah, but you
Oh,
know,
that-
what's
that
worse
guy.
is that Video Bald is in Answer the Call.
Yeah.
He's
That's
in
even
Answer the
worse.
Call.
Well, Video Bald
Yeah.
flew out as an extra to be in there on purpose.
Where
so,
is he?
In the concert scene,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
you can
that.
see his dumbass in
Yeah.
his suspenders.
Like, I started a business
Well-
to make money off of my fandom for movie
We should
props.
send his racist rant
Which one are you talking
screenshots to.
Oh. Yeah, both of them, really.
Exactly.
We should send those racist rants of his to Sony so they can
I'm sure they're aware.
not put him in their movie again.
An extra, they don't give a shit about. Like, that's just someone's claim to fame, man. So,
Yeah, they aren't like monitoring the extra names that come in. Whoever's hiring the extras isn't a Reitman or something.
yeah,
you know?
an extra company, like, they will say, hey, in this city, in this day,
Yeah,
we
but
need
doesn't he
so many extras
supposedly
that-
interact with them on some level even now?
He
I don't know.
pretends to. He's going to tell you whatever you want to hear. I don't know. Don't really care.
They won't let him buy 20 pairs of shoes next time, maybe.
Yeah.
Janine's just fucking throbbing.
Oh, I know. It's just not even right.
She's just so fucking horny.
I mean,
It's not even right, dude. It's unfair.
She loves
It's
nerds.
unjust.
She has a nerd fetish, and it's great. At least that part is consistent. You know, she just likes nerdy guys.
well, and then this here, like her holding this ball, like that whole the tension they build here. Like I said, the Ghostbusters themselves are way more reined in. Like everyone else is doing some of the other stuff here, right? Those two.
Oh, you
making
can see
out and
you can see
everything.
his dick bouncing. I just noticed that. Oh, yeah,
I mean,
his
you can do
pants.
that on a lot of people if you look closely.
When I-
Why do you think women love men
it
in
was
gray
his-
sweatpants?
It was his pants. There was a kid. I didn't understand why he pronounced it Mario.
Super Mario.
I didn't
Brothers.
understand accents.
People up in
Yeah.
New York and New Jersey pronounce it that way still.
No, I didn't I didn't know accents were a thing when I was 6 or whatever.
New Jersey Italians pronounce it that
You know,
way.
his dick
so.
just went. When she
And
touched his
everyone
ear.
famously knows they fucked this up the first time the camera froze, so they had to shoot this again, and it was drastically, terribly cold out in New York.
Yeah, they were wet in.
And
you
that's
know,
probably the same
winter
fucking
time.
manhole cover still as when we took a
Oh, it
picture of
is.
it. Yeah.
You could tell.
I don't think you ever need to replace a manhole cover, do you?
I mean, unless it gets fucked up, but I mean, it's
How,
hard to
how you gonna
one of
fuck that
those
thing up? It's
The
like
homeless
solid.
lady walking behind in the background, great touch. Like, I loved you in Home Alone 2. Where's the pictures at?
Two nerds fighting. Although Winston was in the Marines or whatever, supposedly.
This should have been how a gay orgy scene started in a Ghostbusters 2 parody.
I feel like there's some sort of Ninja Turtle bukkake joke in this.
I do want to get these under thermals or whatever they are.
Long Johns is what they used to call these.
Yeah, and just walk around in them.
At a con.
At a
Be like,
con.
what are you?
Covered in
Cover
slime.
you in
Don't
slime?
you? YHS did that. They literally, the three of them, each got a different colored one like this and walked around covered in fucking KY jelly, and they were like, it was the worst experience ever.
Yeah. Oh.
There's pictures of it, I think.
I want to do something covered in slime, but it'd probably be like an outdoor event. I don't want to get shit all over the floor.
The slime in here, though, too, is great.
There he is.
Yep.
The museum.
Sitting there at dinner date.
There he is again. There he is again.
How do you get so bitter though, like that guy is? Like, it's so sad because he's
Because
like,
he starts to think that, because they were nice to me once, like they should be nice to me now. It's like, dude, those people don't even work there anymore.
like,
Besides
yeah, you've
Ivan
met
and-
Dan Aykroyd and them, but like you started a
guys wanna-
for-profit business. You never did it like a. He never understood like why
You
the
guys want to give some
Ghostbusters-
background for our listeners to what you're talking about?
Well, this Ghostbusters fan, what's his name?
Peter Mosen.
Yeah, Peter Mosen.
He was hired to do some marketing for the first movie, right? Or
He made himself available for some
He's-
marketing.
As soon as the first movie came out, he was pretty much ready, like shortly after, and was like doing events and stuff.
yeah,
So
helped
he was
with the
doing events and
marketing.
birthday parties, but he's doing it all for profit, right? And so, like, when the franchises started taking over and doing things for free,
Can you see anybody's dick in these long johns?
I don't know,
They had to tape Winston's down.
Gracie Mansion,
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown's cameo. I wonder if he's going to beat Whitney before or after this scene. Hey, my kid brother wants one of
Did
those.
Whitney
proton
go to the
packs.
premiere? You think? Were they together at this point? I don't know.
I don't know. Domestic violence, kids. Stay out of it. Don't do it.
Coke fueled domestic violence.
Yep.
It's crazy.
He had his pants around his ankles. I don't know. Hilarious.
I know. I like
His
how his
belt's
belt's all
undone, though.
fucked up. Yeah, and he knocks that table over.
Well, he had a big raging boner poking
Fucking,
out.
he got the physical comedy though.
Look
and
at
then,
her.
Look at his hair. She was running her hands through his hair. She's just soaked.
How could she just wearing this? She's just
It's
wearing
not
this
even
wig.
right.
Typical.
I like her. She's like, we fed him some French bread pizza, passed her right out. And you're like, you can't fucking figure.
And Dana's looking at her like,
Clogged his airways.
Yeah, she's like, no
Great.
shit, the baby choked to death. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'll
go
just
check on my
I'll just
baby.
go check on the baby.
Yeah, well, no wonder Vigo can't possess it because the body's dead.
Is her? I just noticed her right earring is a triangle and her left earring's a circle. Right?
Yep.
Never noticed that before.
Same.
What?
Just that noise you made about Janine. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Well, I like redheads too, so that doesn't help.
No, there's not a thing I could tell you that I don't like about her.
Justin's a redhead.
My hair is not red. I have red facial hair and red
You're a
pubic hair.
you're a hybrid. You're like Blade.
No, there's a shitload of people.
You're a
that-
daywalker.
There's a shitload of people that have that. Like red facial hair is pretty common.
I got a little red in my beard.
I've never seen you grow it out.
It's mostly been replaced with
Look,
white.
you can
I
see
think.
Ray's junk.
Oh yeah, there's
Oh,
some
my.
trouser snake going on there.
It's cold trouser steak.
Culture.
He's a grower, not a shower. He
I
is
was in a
definitely one of
pool.
those thick dad dicks, though.
Like workaholic style, which is
Yeah.
hilarious because Walter Peck himself was on there as one of the dads, and they talked about that whole episode.
There's
Yeah.
a great math joke here.
He's like, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, he's got a hog. He has got a huge one.
Almost 50% of us voted for you, which is one person.
Yeah,
That's a thanker.
and so Winston, yeah, this is where the sequelitis gets terrible because like they're all doing the same part, trying to talk to the mayor here again.
It's psychological, though. It's like the same reason why people watch the same movies and TV shows over and over again. They like to know what's going to happen. It's a
Well,
comfort
people
thing.
with severe anxiety love to do that because it's predictable. They don't have to deal with like the anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen next.
I assume that's why they do it with sequels, or it's like, oh, they like this joke, so we got to do it again. Not come up with another joke that they'll like.
It's hard because like if you break the formula too much,
Well, yeah,
People
like,
will bitch either way.
yeah,
Well,
people
like,
are going to lose their minds.
didn't they
about
say
it.
like they wanted them to go to Scotland and they wanted them to go to like an alternate hell version of New York and all this other
that
stuff?
was Dan Aykroyd's
Yeah,
Van Helton,
I mean, so many interesting things they could have done instead of
which
just.
I
Being miserable and treating everybody else like dirt is every New Yorker's God-given right.
I know. Fucking classic lines in here too, man. Him coming back as the mayor is perfect though.
Yeah, I don't
it
mind
shows
him back.
it shows that it worked for him. Like this campaign worked for you.
They said he's running for
You
governor.
have saved the lives of millions. Oh yeah, he's gonna.
registered voters. The look
Well, he
on his
says-
face when he
They
says
say he's running for governor. It'd been nice if he actually already was governor in this. A little
somebody get me the Ghostbusters.
somebody get. You ever seen this before? Yeah, 5 years ago.
It's got to be done.
Did these guys lie to you last time? Brian Doyle Murray, of course, is the psych doctor coming up
Bill
here.
Murray just being like,
And also
all
plays
right,
the
yep, this is happening.
plays the mayor that replaces Lenny in the video game.
Mm-hmm. The only other Murray brother
I've seen him in so many things this week.
Oh, yeah.
Because I watched Christmas Vacation. What else
I
did
watched
watch with him in it?
Scrooged, so he was in it, and Bill Murray's other brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joel. Joel's the other one that does film stuff.
He plays his actual brother in the Scrooged.
I've heard all of this. The Scourge.
The sorrows, yes.
The candles in
in.
here. Like the logistics of setting those candles up and lighting them.
He goes like,
I
I didn't ask you to do that.
And then he's even got a candle set like in the little magnifying glass for the table, like raised up there. Like, what the fuck are you doing? If I were to bring you the baby, could I have the woman?
So be it. On this day forward, she will be ours. Wife, you interrupt me, motherfucker.
Well, he's still breastfeeding too, so he need the Dana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. I mean, they could use formula, but the first like ingredient in most formulas is high fructose
When did
corn
formula
syrup.
come around?
After wet nursing stopped being a thing.
He's got Angelina Jolie lips.
I love the drip on the back.
Otherwise known as
some
dick sucking
DSL.
lips.
Look at all the ooze is dripping like in there, and I've never noticed like how much
Oh, yeah.
slime's dripping down
Oh,
back
yeah.
there.
It looks purple too, like Ivan Ooze is
Mm-hmm.
appearing behind him. Ivan Ooze will appear and destroy us. That's who I would pick.
Yeah, that'd be a good choice.
Is that a Laurie Antonelli film?
My
with the-
ecto-
I see.
Leprechauns.
Did you see that? It wasn't Ecto Cooler, but it was an orange one with a pink straw.
Yeah. Lava burst, orange lava burst.
Well, I
She's
mean,
The
feeding
one
them
McDonald's
popcorn.
used to carry, I think.
she's like, "Are you gonna leave?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he wearing one of Venkman's shirts, or is that one of hers?
Yeah, that's the one Venkman wears. Remember?
You think they would have left to fuck
Same
anyway?
one.
Janosch becoming this like creepy ass old
This is
ghost. Like it looks like a World War II
this is
era. Like
really weird.
I like it though.
And like, how does Oscar get out on the ledge?
I don't know.
clearly he walks, dumbass.
Her
He's
crawls.
he's fucking standing up at the thing, waiting to be picked up.
How did he crawl up to the window and get out there? He can't even walk at this point.
He's like, "She's leaving quick. Put it in your mouth."
Oh yeah, that dark orange high C box. I see what you're saying there. The windows open. Like you didn't notice that fucking freezing breeze coming through on New Year's Eve, and
On New Year's Eve.
so here's where the timeline gets sketchy because like they're not partying on New Year's Eve, like because they go out on a date to go on New Year's Eve.
Oh yeah.
But they imply that I think
This
it's
is
the
all
next
one
morning
night,
they gotta
right?
free him. So I'm assuming this is December 30th around this point in time in the film.
I guess so.
That was a bad shot, like a real grainy shot there. That's a beautiful shot. This whole thing.
There you
It's
go.
the Twin Towers.
Janosch did 9/11.
Janosch almost crashed
Oh
into
my
him.
god, damn, that's dark. That's real fucked up. He flies right by it, doesn't he?
but I will.
I'm gonna go to hell when I die.
I need to make a video of that now for TikTok. This face, and then it goes and shows him flying into the buildings.
And so, you know, since he's
Or he grabs the Twin Towers with his.
And then as they're,
Inspector
I'll
Gadget
show them
arm.
collapsing, and I'll add the, but I will.
that's very much a Nightmare on Elm Street like esque like grab of the
The
baby
arm,
there, yeah,
yeah.
the arm stretch and stuff. Pretty cool, but you're like, why does Janosch turn into a ghost babysitter with a carriage to take this baby?
It's astral projection. Come on.
Like, why didn't somebody else just come pick it up? Like a ghost babysitter like that, just being a ghost, not being Janosch and drag would have been cool.
They could just hired a thug.
I'm down with
thug
it.
off
I
the
love it
street.
the way it is because it's just
it is,
weird.
but yeah.
Again, I love Peter here being just like, no, I'm not fucking going to a mental facility.
Well, it's like
Just being
Winston,
told
like,
to
I want a separate lawyer in the
those
first
little
one.
coffee cups like have the total vibes of Terminator 2, like where he goes and gets a little card cup of coffee from the security
Exactly.
guard.
In a bathtub, try to eat her baby. A bathtub.
let's talk about this. Are there any other paintings alive in the museum?
I don't know. I think they're all nuts.
inside Janine's panties.
She's menstruating. That's why they didn't fuck. Janine's dragging. Canon.
Never stopped anybody before.
I was
It
going to
stopped
say.
some people. It stopped some people.
Well, I mean, I understand if a woman, it stops them, but if a man doesn't want to do it, then he's just lame. But if a woman just feels uncomfortable, I
It
get
stops
it.
some men too.
She
yeah.
has the right to feel uncomfortable with that. But a man is a pussy. And
Some men will go down on it. They don't care.
That's the thing. I'm just going to say it right now. You can do all you want with the clitoris in your mouth.
Exactly.
And you ain't getting period blood in your mouth.
Exactly.
As long as you really know
I've
what you're
done
doing,
that.
it's going to be fine.
I've done that.
And here comes the Jello mold.
Mm-hmm.
There's always room for Jello.
Now, when you see how close the Statue of Liberty is to that museum in real life,
what
it
the
makes
fuck took 'em
sense.
so long?
Yeah, like why did you come out of the different bay? Like where did you go?
Well, the current, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty sure they said, maybe even in the commentary, they were like, yeah, the structure, the path that's taken here doesn't make sense. But the path that Lewis takes when he runs out of 55 Central Park West and hops over, and then comes over on the side of the statue after coming by the restaurant is 100% realistic.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, this is
Oh, in the first
cool.
movie.
Yeah, because we follow that same path.
Yeah, 'cause it's right across from Dana's apartment, right?
Yeah.
I hate punkers, especially bald ones with the green
That
makeup.
happened right there, too. Like
I know,
same
that's why I
fucking
brought that
spot.
up, because
So
it's the
great.
same place. Where'd Janosch get this weird little,
The
I don't know if you want to, where they're putting the baby on, I don't know what you'd call
Yeah.
that sort of a thing.
Who knows?
Look how baggy Vigo's pants are there, though. And the baby just gets sucked away from you. The sound design here is pretty interesting, too. I mean, as far as the score and stuff.
was this the cutest baby they could find, or
No, they
he,
used
he
twins.
looks like he's 45 years old.
This is always a fun shot. I like this.
The slime there
And the
looks like
guitar going
melted
here
bubble
with-
gum, yeah.
The, what's his face? From
the
the Eagles?
Yeah. We're just like, what's his name from the Eagles? Cannibal Girls again.
We're gonna make slime drip on people. And this was in the storyboards for the first movie that was never shot.
Which was the goat, the coat.
Yeah, they were gonna do this in the first movie. I don't know if they couldn't because of budgetary reasons or what. But
Yeah, the first movie's just not a lot of ghosts in it. The montage is mostly them leaving the bus, but you get the cab driver ghost in there. That jacket has freaked you out as a kid. Like, I feel like
Oh,
that
yeah.
should have been a PETA ad back in the day. Like, you don't want your jacket to come to life and
now
kill you, do you?
well, there is a giant monster in this movie.
Oh, yeah,
I
another
forgot. I
kaiju,
wasn't
yeah.
even thinking about that. That thing's fucking terrifying.
The claymation on that is beautiful, though. It's so
Yeah.
great. I love
The
it.
Statue of Liberty is the Mecha Godzilla of this movie.
They should have battled that giant dinosaur ghost with
Who's
the
to
Statue
say?
of Liberty.
Who's to say they didn't?
Here we go.
That could have
Oh,
been
they
cut.
still got Santa Claus up in the background.
Towers just arrived.
Yeah, the Santa Claus is all battered up in the police station.
Flight 93 just
I do
arrived.
love how they just like throw up.
That's
like,
the one that crashed in the field in
Oh, that's
Pennsylvania,
right.
but still,
I can't remember the other numbers.
Me
Okay.
neither. Still a funny joke, though.
And
There's the Titanic Cheech's cameo here. Which is
Better
great.
late than never.
Yeah. Love it. Here's back to a Ghostbusters 1 shot.
LaGuardia Airport just called.
I spent the night
And
talking
this guy-
to Fiorello LaGuardia.
He's in the.
He's in all kinds of shit, man.
It's the same fire chief in this one as the first
He's
one.
the sergeant in Rush Hour.
Ben Stein with a cameo.
Yeah.
They're all smoking though. You just saw him blow out a big puff. The Ghostbusters can't smoke though.
Somebody get me to Ghostbusters. I had them committed.
He did what?
Like, he's inconvenienced the night before when he's there. And then now he's like, dumbass. So I'm assuming, like, overnight into this, next morning when they release them is when they finally get on to December 31st.
Well, doesn't it turn dark early because of the shit in the sky?
It kind of does. Like, they get released.
Always makes me think of Mr. Spacely. 'Cause he's really short, pushing people around.
Okay, yeah. So here it's daytime, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
December
and it gets
30th.
dark early. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the 31st now because it's daylight, and it was night.
Is that a same shot from the first movie? Because that's Central Park right there again.
Maybe the same effect. I think it's different somehow, but
I mean, they could have redone the effect,
Is-
but the background shot could have been the same.
I'm pretty sure it's different because the other one's more centered that way. There was
Yeah,
a shot
yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
They do love showing Central Park in all of these. Like
Yeah.
in the museum was showing Central Park was in the back of the museum, and it's not there in
So
reality.
it's essentially based on what we're establishing here. Now it's New Year's Eve, basically, right?
well, it wasn't New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve
Meow.
daylight.
Yeah, daylight now.
Yeah.
Yoshi,
Don't mind Alex. Cats.
His
They're
kitties
just
are
yelling in
going
the
cray
background.
cray.
whoa!
I love the use of Bobby's Brown song here.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Fire department.
Looks like a
up there
big
blasting
prolapse.
it, Yeah. Where's Howie Mandel when you need him?
Great
When my
shot
friend
here.
Neil bent over, this happened. Can somebody tell me, is this COVID related? And if so, what do we do about it? Ow.
JL5 2020. Had to get a new phone number because Ray took it over to the occult bookstore when
Yeah, I like that
he
connection
transferred
that
the
they
number. Yeah.
made there.
I love how ridiculous they made the roof rack on this other car.
Mm-hmm. And so over the
You
top.
know what we need? More lights on here. You know what? We need this thing to be more top heavy.
Well, it also kind of makes sense because they have green and yellow lights on there now that like are.
Not like illegal.
It's not red and blue.
Yeah.
Like the police.
Yeah, because that amber color would be like utility color. Like, you know, you're doing work. It's just a safety alert, but it's
Yeah.
not like...
Green's used by like the trash department or something. I know.
There are many
Red and
perks to
perks.
being the mother of living God.
yeah.
There'll be a nice
Free
apartment, free parking.
Yeah.
Mostly Vigos.
This is very much... He's very much old Greg here. Do you think you could learn to love me?
He's amazing.
His outfits are what's the best.
His turtlenecks. Yeah.
It's, I would love to talk to him about like how I came up with the
The accent?
Where the
accent
hell are
for
you
this
from
character.
anyway?
The Upper West Side. Yeah. So Ray's wearing the decibel meter on his pants there.
Oh yeah, because he gonna uses it later.
Yep, but it's in a pouch on his belt. But Ray just loved having extra shit to haul around on his belt.
he's always the guy with the trap and the goggles hanging off.
It's one of the best parts about Ghostbusters cosplay is like how much shit can you cram on your fucking
Oh my
person?
Well,
how
you
much
can't-
can you weigh yourself
You can't
down?
put too much in the very back because you got your pack.
No, but like on
hanging
the
in there.
sides though.
But yeah, mine's fucking filled to the brim. I do need to get that sound meter though.
Those are really cheap on eBay.
Stick
I've
that
got
somewhere
one,
with the pouch, the holster thing, and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, now up cut shot because he's back to regular shoulder
Yeah.
pads there on Egon. Like they're
Yeah, there's a lot of
editing.
alternate
Yeah.
takes in this scene
Well, that's why it's like such a tight shot on there.
because
Thin
Artemeyer
straps.
gets eaten by
Heavy
the
straps there.
building.
Like that's why the background is like so subdued there. You're like, what are those?
That was an insert shot. I do like this.
He's going down to blow him.
Yeah. Something good.
Good thing that was on the license plate. They never would have thought of it.
Yeah. It's not in the bay, just a little ways away.
Commercial.
And the weird thing is the Ecto 1 plate that they had, the Statue of Liberty, was to the far left.
Oh, we didn't point out outside Dana's building when they were going to dinner that the Ecto 1 says Ecto 2 on the license plate.
Oh, is that where that scene is?
Mm-hmm. Before they changed their minds.
Well, I think they probably realized that's a Kenner toy.
Yeah. It was in the cartoon, yeah, the gyrocopter.
Which is badass. Like, put some of that weird shit in the movies for me.
Oh, man, yeah.
Like you
They
got
at least did some cool shit in Afterlife. I'll give them that with the equipment. The gunner seat is dope as hell, and so is the RC trap. Those are like really the best technical
They
additions.
did
to the
introduce
movie.
some new gadgets. Yeah.
Now you've got a slime blower, and that thing's a giant motherfucker to wear around.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass.
Looks great though.
Yeah. Finally got that son of a bitch.
Beautiful.
I need to do that sometime. I need to get
blunt.
a fake cigar to have in my mouth.
Oh yeah, I used to have that fake cigarette. A
See,
lot.
this looks like fucking hair conditioner and shit.
People comment more on that than anything else about the cigarette.
Oh yeah.
All the thousands of dollars I put into
The
it.
old Nest board, I made one of those. It's probably 85% accurate to parts. Like I just kind of got what I could and made it look similar.
CG.
I got that Walkman too. I got that in a trade recently. It doesn't work supposedly, but still nice to have on display, especially since I have the NES Advantage controller I made.
Spooge on it.
Again, man, when you do that, just that electrical light up, it looks to me like it reminds me of like strawberry yogurt, just the way it's like all gross and drippy.
I
See,
hate
it looks
yogurt.
like hair conditioner to me.
Yeah.
Like watered down and added with like cottage cheese or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's
gotta
fun.
blow the fire out for that. I don't think they make Nikes in her size.
But I like that they're talking about like the vibrations would shake it apart and stuff. It's just more science, like
They're-
shit that they would be concerned about. Like,
As absurd as it is, it does ground some reality to
Was
this shit too.
the-
So you're like, fuck you guys.
Was
but
the
they're like,
depth
no.
of the water accurate? Did they ever determine that?
well, it isn't too super far from here, but it is.
Some of this is like the Hudson River, I think,
Further
depending
out,
on the
yeah.
angle you're at. Technically, is what they refer to that as. So
I love that they brought this back.
yeah,
Now, okay, you remember the J.C. Penney's suit or whatever you could get?
uh-huh.
Yeah. I tried it on. My mom zipped it up, and I said I was born to wear this stuff
Didn't she buy it for you?
because I'd already watched it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. She wouldn't let me wear it to school, and then some kid was wearing it at school, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Just wearing
she's
it
like-
as a regular outfit.
She's like, "You wouldn't be able to wear that to school. They wouldn't let you." And some other kid was at school, and I was like, "Fuck." And I think I told my mom that she still wouldn't let me wear it.
She thought you were lying, probably.
No, I wasn't lying though.
Yeah.
Was this actually Harold Ramis's suit, or did they make? It does look really big on him, but I was wondering if
They probably just gave him his own. Yeah.
they made one.
Kind of
sure
like
they-
how in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, when Luke Perry gives Buffy his fucking jacket,
And all of
it
a sudden,
shrinks.
it's like fucking like
Oh yeah.
custom fit to look great on screen. Yeah.
I guess I just didn't realize that, Doc had given that jacket from 2015.
Well, you can
The
just using his
Geiger meter,
Geiger meter, yeah.
Yeah, I just never realized that.
And of course, the street would collapse,
Yeah.
just like with Stay Puffed as well. I guess.
And interesting fact, it was a man that played the Statue of Liberty in this.
That's blasphemous.
It's whatever it wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just assume the Statue of Liberty's gender? Lady Liberty. It's just Liberty.
The sound set they made for this, like head just moving and bouncing around, is pretty neat.
The what?
That's like a little sound stage
Oh,
that they
right.
made for that, where that just kind of moves to kind of get those shots.
Well, there was a
Squashing the
cop in
car
there.
was cool.
My fault.
Which, like, there's this great behind the scenes clip in Answer the Call where they show like that car that gets stuck on Rowan's foot and like how it falls back off, and like all the extra time and money they spent to like actually have it like lift up with cables and stuff. I'm like, just squishing it was fine.
So there's a whole subplot deleted from this film of
Lewis trying to catch
hunting
Slimer.
in the
Yeah.
firehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and almost kills Janine with the
Proton pack, yeah. And some of those, you can see some of those deleted
Yeah.
scenes now.
with some very early stage Slimer animation.
And they were back and forth with it. So, like, what are your thoughts? Does Slimer be in this movie really do anything for you?
I think it's good the little amount that he's in.
I think it bridges the gap to the real Ghostbusters, like showing that Slimer is just kind of hanging
Hanging out
around.
the
They
firehouse.
just deal with it like no big deal.
As I said in my head, I think there's a realistic version of the cartoons that exists in the movie universe.
Yeah,
It's not.
Slimer
it
doesn't
bother
really
me as much.
talk
At least it's
and-
not overbearing and.
No, and I think it's
Yeah.
fun to have like Lewis wanting to be a Ghostbuster. I think it does take away a little bit of him at the end But like him actually becoming a Ghostbuster instead of just jacking around at the office.
It always made me mad that people were acting like he did something. I was like, he didn't do anything.
Oh yeah.
As a kid, I was like,
Yeah, like this motherfucker
he
gets
didn't
no
really
credit.
help.
But had you seen him trying to catch Slimer the whole movie, you
Yeah.
probably would have made a lot more sense. Like, oh, but the edits they made in this movie just for timing, I'm sure were pretty drastic. He's out of the
This
painting.
movie isn't super long though.
No, but I mean, pushing a 2-hour movie
Yeah.
back then was pretty
For a
unusual.
comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, now those comedies are 2.5 hours. It's like, no, the joke goes stale. So I love 40-Year-Old Virgin, but it's too long.
Or Judd Apatow movies, he tends to do that with.
Yeah. It's just,
All of them are kind
it
of like
runs
that. Superbad,
too long.
he didn't direct that, but he produced it.
I don't remember Superbad feeling long, but
Well, he only produced it, but
Oh,
Superbad's
okay.
one of those ones that holds up from that, like,
40-Year-Old
group of
Virgin just
people.
feels too long.
Knocked Up is too long. Funny People is too long. They just like
This is 40 is definitely too long. It's good though. I mean, the stuff's
I only
fun,
watched that
but
once. I need to watch that again
You
since
can
I'm
really
turning
cut
40 soon.
down. Yeah. You can cut down on some of those movies though.
But now every movie's 2.5 hours, I think.
Interesting pipe and drape and like truss rods they have in the background there that you would use for like building a fake event stage or something else is like randomly kept in this museum.
Thick pads.
Mm-hmm.
Does his pads alternate in the?
No, Egon's did, and Egon's was clearly
this
in a
battle?
different shot in that. No, in the battle, like all this was all pretty much
They're all
shot
th- all
continuously.
thick.
simple effect, but I like it.
Yeah, the stuttered imaging of him like coming into
Yeah.
existence.
No,
Yeah,
it's cool.
I wish they would have kept his voice though.
Why did they just hose him? What are you waiting on?
Yeah, and why did they count? They could have just blasted him immediately and started winning.
Count of 3, go on 2.
They should have been blasting with the slime and the
Yeah.
shit all
To
at
start
once.
with, like you dragged all this shit with you. You didn't switch to proton packs.
Imagine falling like that, wearing that slime blower.
Yeah, getting
Well, if
up.
it was yours, it would just bust into pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The main tank would have been done, yeah.
Well, it'd be funny if you fell on a proton pack and it was just fucking nuclear exploded the city.
And then this gets real sequelitis, like, you know, where like Venkman's like, I'm fine. Very much at the end of the first
Fucking
movie.
hair.
Okay.
It is funny.
That smile.
You don't see enough Vigo cosplays.
They should have made his hair look greasy. It looks better in that shot.
Yeah, his hair,
it
or
changes, yeah.
his clothes
It
and
should have been
pants look
greasy
like
and slicked back, kind of.
corduroy. Yeah,
like-
he looks too clean. Like I just had a shower. Like
This is some good acting from the baby when he starts crying. And he's like his arms in the air.
from the baby, like, oh, you got an upset baby? I think those are pretty easy.
Well, he's
to
got his
find.
but he's got his arms in the air. Watch.
Well, they alternate between Will and Hank. So
You think one of them is a better actor?
I don't know. I think
One
they
of
just-
them is R.I.P.
yeah, which is unfortunate.
No, yeah. But I'm Facebook friends with the surviving one, and I see his posts every once in a while.
Yeah, he does a lot of really good stuff for charity right now and to raise awareness around
Oh.
that.
Wonder where he lives now.
Now that's interesting. Yelling at him,
Peter,
he's just shaking. It.
Peter just.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
not a,
darn.
Bill's like, I'm not going to do much here.
their direction was all different. It seemed.
Bill's into.
Winston, act like you're being electrocuted. Bill, act like you have a mild stomach ache.
Yeah. Well, I think that was just Bill Murray being like,
I'm not going to do that.
yeah.
Oh darn, he says.
Yeah. Oh, darn. Yeah. And that's how you know, like, I'm telling you, the Ghostbusters are so subdued in their lines.
It's
in
kind
this.
of funny that it says darn, though, so that works.
I think it would have been like,
I
oh,
want
fuck.
to see where the Statue of Liberty falls over.
Yeah, and doesn't kill anybody.
It's just
Like, how many people died
No,
for
it
that?
might have it.
And those ghosts are there be hunting the Ghostbusters. Like, those are the ghosts you need to see them catch. In the,
So at one point, the slime.
yeah, it's just like they're in the
It's
street.
lame.
At
there
one point,
already,
the
yeah.
slime wears off and the statue just falls over.
Well, they break the window and then it falls. Like, didn't it just lean against that? You guys clearly
It looked a
repelled. No
bad
problem.
scale too.
Yeah,
Like a quarter of its size.
yeah,
Venkman just catches the baby, no problem.
barely.
Dana doesn't even die for it, and he's wearing a proton pack.
He's back at the painting.
I like these. Just look like some fun Photoshop filters going on in the background.
Right.
It's fun though.
It's like music video.
Yeah. And then
Snapchat.
the
Demon.
Ray being possessed here.
Of course, the same person playing Vigo and Ray, demon form.
It's cool as shit, though.
Yeah,
Scary as shit.
Yeah, I wish they did more with it.
Yeah, the makeup looks good, even though like they clearly could have probably just had Dan Aykroyd do those scenes.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Dan's claustrophobic. We'll do
Egon there.
I'd love to do that cosplay if we could
That'd be sick.
do that mask and makeup.
Yep, and then you see like the Ray just
Yeah,
dive out of the body.
I love
there.
that. That's cool.
And then it's this floating head. They're fighting Zordon here. I never
That's
realized it.
I love how he looks there.
Yeah.
That effect there is.
It's
so
kind of
cool.
anticlimactic. Like it's almost too easy, but I don't know. It works, I guess.
Yeah, the battle isn't that good.
At least they
with
didn't
him,
cross
but, like,
the fucking streams
Yeah, that's
like
true.
in the video game and Afterlife, and it's like standard operating procedure now.
Yeah.
Yep,
Every time they see
it's a class 7 cross the streams. They just go right for it in Afterlife. It's like immediately.
for no reason. You're not reversing the
You're
portal.
gonna kill all these children.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for the Afterlife discussion. Doesn't he like smash the baby kissing her? He almost knocks her out of his.
No, they're at an angle there.
What if the baby died right there because he knocked it out?
I love you guys. I've made some
After
really,
an orgy,
I've made some really
when you're
terrible.
dripping with KY.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've made some really foul fucking memes from this movie and Ghostbusters in general. Like when your girl asks for a bukkake and you and the boy oblige when they're all blasting at the painting. Like yeah.
Yeah, when you black out during an orgy.
Of course, this is
Why
Lewis.
am I drippings with goo?
This is Lewis at the end of the first one, kind of.
It looks and the slime here looks so gross. Like
Oh, yeah.
It's
it's all bubbly and everything else. Like
it's
Jesus.
frothy.
And then by the time like this this slime all dries by the time they decide to go out and like see the public.
It's
here.
really cummy here.
It's like if you came into your fleshlight and then just kept fucking it for like an hour.
Yeah,
And that's what it
frothy.
turned into. Yep, frothy.
your head be a little sensitive there.
Oh,
That's,
for sure.
Interesting.
Sometimes you just got to remember this is a comedy because people are like, this painting doesn't make any sense.
Like that's one of
Yeah,
the
it's a
silly
comedy.
things to it. I think it was one of the fettuccinis, and like that alone is a joke there too.
Right.
They're all dry here though. Like, look, it's like, oh, we got some jam on your clothes
There'd be
now.
people climbing on the head, I think.
Oh, people would be all over that Statue of Liberty trying to take what they could out of it.
They should have the Spaceballs guys climbing out of it.
Oh, shit. Spaceballs.
Nick is communicating with the cats.
That is Sigourney Weaver. That is
Oh, so Harold Ramis was in this. Okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't Bob Gutton.
Rick.
I thought that was Bobcat Goldthwait. It was Rick Moranis the whole time?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Bobcat Goldthwait as Lewis?
This is kind of
Yes.
a
That would have
I
been
love
like
it.
the second best
this
person.
is kind of a dumb joke, but
Yeah.
No, the double doors.
and of course you can see the
LA
real
fire,
firehouse
yeah.
or the New York firehouse inside. I like this Ernie with the elbow pads. Good shot with the
Queen.
gray suit, and you don't see very much inside of the firehouse in this, especially on
God
the first
among
level.
men.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely made this movie. I mean, it would have been nothing with. Is that was that what's his name?
Harris Yulin is the judge.
Wasn't that oh fuck, what is
Will
it?
and Hank. Dutchendorf.
Kirk Cameron, wasn't that him?
And Slimer.
And Kirk Cameron as Slimer.
No, wasn't Kirk Cameron the one with
Talks about
Fuller
Jesus.
there? Yeah.
The weird Dan shaking his butt.
Oh, Dan. Yeah, Dan's wearing the gray suit under that coat too.
Yeah, he is.
I'll have to do that look: leather jacket and gray suit. That was right before Egon slept with it.
The key to the city from the mayor. Like
Yeah,
they shot all
there's-
this stuff that's just like a
There
very
was dialogue
quick
and
shot.
everything for this originally.
Mm-hmm.
You got the statue back. Somehow.
Surprised they got permission to go and do all the filming there.
Now, did the statue jump from that?
That's
See, the museum's like right over there, pretty much.
yeah, it's really close to the
You can
Twin
almost
Towers where they
fucking
are.
see the back of
Like
it,
you
I
go
think.
straight to that, and yeah.
Anyway, that's Ghostbusters 2. End credits.
That's a great movie.
Happy New Year, motherfuckers.
Happy New Year!
Happy
Welcome to
New
Happy
Year.
New Year!
Oh, we didn't say it when Peter
we
said
didn't.
it.
No, anticlimactic.
So it's 2023 for you first-time listeners.
Yeah, it is now.
If you're viewing this or listening on its release, then yes.
Or it's 2037.
And
Maybe.
if Plant is the president.
It's 2073. A
Ghostbusters
plant
is
is president?
39 this year. And Ghostbusters 2 is 34.
It's 2173, and you're living underground because we destroyed the environment.
Yeah.
There's delta rays or whatever going through the ozone. Oh, we closed the ozone, didn't we?
What the fuck is this?
What? Nick's all of a sudden on a tangent.
We closed the hole in the ozone, I thought.
I don't know about that.
I'm pretty sure we did.
I don't think you can just close it. It's not
I think,
like
I think we closed it.
this isn't exactly Spaceballs.
It healed itself. Oh, that confused me as a kid. I was like, is there really a door in the atmosphere they got to get through?
Yeah, no, that's what
Funny,
you're
she
thinking.
doesn't look Jewish.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Well, Mel Brooks
He's
is
Jewish,
allowed to
though,
do
so
it.
he
Yeah.
can say it, yeah.
That's when it's funniest. Self-depreciating humor is allowed.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best.
So yeah, we'll do 2016 next. Is that right?
At some point.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Maybe-
necessarily the next commentary, but we'll get
People
to
are
it.
going to lose their minds on that one. They probably just won't listen.
Maybe for the anniversary, the 7th anniversary. Still gotta go. Still gotta rent out the theater and watch it sometime. Been trying to do that for a couple of years now.
Well,
I wanted to do it for the 5th anniversary, and that.
Well, if you
passed.
like listening to this commentary and you're still listening, head over on to patreon.com/strangeglowvideo and subscribe. It's
Oh,
right now it's only
yeah.
$2.99 a month. So, and if you subscribe in the month of January, we're probably going to be sending stickers. So, if you subscribe and then DM us on Instagram and send us your address. Be like, "Guys, tell us you
Send
subscribed."
us your address.
Yeah, send us your address and we'll send you some stickers.
Maybe we'll show up at your door
No.
if you live close.
We won't do that.
Not in a hostile way.
No, not in any way. We won't do that.
no. Apparently, we're going to have to restrict Nick's access. Don't
I just
send
made
Nick
him an
your
admin of the group, and I'm gonna have to go undo this.
Send us
shit.
your social security number
Yeah. Send us your credit card numbers.
so we can run your credit.
your mother's home address. Your children's school schedules.
Maybe we'll send you one of our Ghostbusters franchise patches or stickers if you subscribe soon.
If you subscribe in the month of January, we're
Got
gonna
some
send you at
fresh new
least
patches and stickers coming.
one sticker, as long as you contact us through Instagram and tell us you subscribed and give us your address.
Mm-hmm.
We will verify that you subscribed and send you a sticker.
Definitely send us your address.
Yeah, definitely send us your home address and children's school
How many
schedules,
people are-
where they go to school,
How
pictures
many
of
people
them
are
both.
living
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. No.
there? Your parents' work schedule.
I don't know these gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do not know these men and why they're asking for your child's address.
We're gonna dress like cops, like in Home Alone.
Exactly.
You got any gold teeth?
How long are you gonna be out of town for?
And that's the one, Mom. That's the silver tuna.
Especially send us your address if you're rich and you're gonna be out of town.
Yeah, something like that. Well, that's
Are you Mr. McAllister?
the Mr. McAllister who lives here.
Yeah. Oh, good, because somebody owes me $112.50.
Hey, they do thank Ladder Company number 8 and Marine Division.
Mm-hmm.
Marine Division, because I'm sure of all the...
Well, that's another thing. The
National
Ghostbusters
Park
Firehouse was the first responders on 9/11, and they got erased from the Ghostbusters video game. Brown Story Boy number 3, 2.
Jason
Girl
Reitman.
with Puppy.
Catherine Reitman.
Fucking, what do you call it?
Cheech Marin.
Doc Supervisor.
Brian Doyle Murray.
Ben Stein.
Win Ben Stein's money.
Remember when Ben Stein was doing all those Clear Eyes commercials?
Yeah, Clear Eyes.
Clear eyes.
That made me buy Clear Eyes.
If you smoke a lot of weed, you need clear eyes.
Yes. The Hardy's advertising for Ghostbusters 2 is something we could have spent a
Oh
whole
my
commentary
God,
about.
I love that era.
but that's something we'll do in our sort of new episodes.
Those strange little noisemakers.
I've got a couple of
That
those.
sound nothing like the...
Nope, I need to see if I've can get one of those.
Who
to
was
work.
it that had a shit ton of them? Was that you? Or
I
was
don't
that
have any of
Dustin?
them.
Not no.
I need to get another one. I've got a gray
Somebody
one.
had a whole bunch of them.
I've got a gray one and a white
In our
one. I
group.
think there was 3 or 4 of them.
Ghostbusters 2.
The gray one's in package still.
Ghostbusters will return in Ghostbusters Afterlife.
We should add that in there,
An Ivan Reitman
like
film.
Star Wars style, like some George Lucas shit.
R.I.P. Ivan Reitman.
Yeah.
This is our first.
We should just add in scenes where Egon's getting calls about his child. He's like, fuck you, I'm busy. I got shit to do.
Oh fuck, that's rude.
Anyway, that was Ghostbusters 2, the commentary.
You're
with
back at the
Strange Glow
menu
Video.
now.
So, yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.